Hello. I think the live stream is starting. Yeah. Hello. Hi guys. Good night. Thank you for joining the Brahma Puran live stream. As usual, I have missed Brahma Puran while I was away for a while. Let me know if the audio and all is coming fine. It seems to be fine, right? And I hope today there won't be any glitches of some sort. I have changed some settings on the OBS, and I was away for a while because two members of my family got sick at the same time. So I was pretty stressed and a whole lot more busy because of that. And we have some interesting stuff to discuss about the connection between Hitler and a Bengali guy and a French woman who became a Hindu, and also G.D. Savarkar. How all these people are connected. That's pretty insane. So we'll start that. But before that, we'll discuss that between the sub-chapters of Brahma Puran. Before that, let's start with Brahma Puran. Hello. Heard that BJP has strengthened 45 to 50% booth in Bengal. Yeah, strengthened is great. All that matters is how much people they have who will fight for them on the streets, who are ready to go to jail, get themselves killed or get themselves beaten up, who don't fear those things or are stupid enough to believe that those things will not happen to them, or are stupid enough to believe that somehow magically BJP will come up with a law that protects BJP party workers when they get beaten up or shot dead. So if they find people to believe that and act on those beliefs, then there's a fun hope to have. But Trinamool people have convinced people, their party workers, that first of all you won't get beaten up. Even if you do get beaten up, your family will be taken care of. The law will protect you. Everything will be conjured up one fine morning to protect you. But let's see if BJP party workers have that same belief. Okay. I wonder if we can finish the rest of this volume 1 today. Only this much is left. Let's see. So today's first subchapter is called Balarama and the plow. Let's see. Okay, it starts with Vyasa's quote again. So Vyasa said, with the Gopas. Okay, let's see where did we end last day. We had a nice subchapter to end. Balarama's return to Gokula. Yeah. So with their minds attached to Hari in melodious. This is a small recap. With their minds attached to Hari in melodious voices, they invited him and repeatedly addressed him as Krishna and Damodara. Krishna had delivered a message in extremely sweet voice, and it was full of deep love, devoid of pride, comforting the gopis. Rama delivered this in a sweet and amiable voice. The minds of the Gopas were also attached to Hari. As used to be the case earlier, Rama laughed with them and conversed with all the residents of Vraja. This is where the last day's subchapter ended. Okay. Now Balarama and the plow. Vyasa said, with the Gopas, the great-souled one roamed around in the forest. He was Shesha, who holds up the earth. But he was disguised in the form of a human. Having performed extensive deeds, he had assumed an avatara for a task, so as to enable him to enjoy himself. Varuna spoke to Varuni. Varuna said, this immensely energetic one always desires liquor, Liquor. O auspicious one, for the sake of his enjoyment and pleasure, go. Thus addressed, Varuni went near him. She went to the banks in the forest of Vrindavana and positioned himself in a hole in a Kadamba tree. While wandering around, Baladeva inhaled the wonderful smell of liquor and experienced the delight that he had earlier had from liquor. O sages, the wielder of the plow suddenly saw a stream of liquor descending from the Kadamba tree and was filled with great happiness. He was happy, along with the Gopas and Gopis, who were accomplished in singing and the playing of musical instruments. He drank while they sang. Because of the excessive heat and exhaustion, there were beads of sweat resembling sparkling pearls on him. Agitated, he said, O Yamuna, come here, I wish to have a bath. The river ignored the words of an intoxicated person and showed disrespect. Since she did not come there, the wielder of the plow, meaning Balarama, became angry and seized his plow. Intoxicated because of the liquor, he seized her with the tip of his plow and said, O evil one, you did not come. Since you did not come, according to your wishes, go elsewhere. Dragged by him, the river suddenly gave up her course and flooded the forest where Baladeva had dragged her. With scared and agitated eyes, she assumed a body and told Rama, "O one who has a club as his weapon, please be pleased. Free me," he said. Balarama said, "If you know about my valor and strength, I will bring down my plow on you and divide you into 1,000 flows." Thus addressed, the river was scared and placated him. Bala released Yamuna at the spot where the ground had been flooded. In that great forest, he bathed and obtained a handsome form. Lakshmi gave him blue garments that had the complexion of the ocean, a beautiful blue lotus to adorn himself, earrings and a garland made of lotuses that did not decay, given by Varuna. He adorned himself with the blue lotus and the beautiful earrings. Attired in blue garments, the prosperous and auspicious one looked handsome. Thus adorned, Rama, meaning Balarama, enjoyed himself in Vraja. After 2 months, he returned to the city of Dwarka. King Revata had a daughter named Revati. Bala married her, and Nishatha and Ulmuka were born through her. Next subchapter is called Pradyumna's Return. Shonjivan Dev. Can let me know which translation version of the book it is? Yeah, by Bibek Debroy. Okay. Pradyumna's Return. Vyasa said, "In the kingdom of Vidarbha," meaning in Gujarat, Bhishmaka was the king in Kundina. Kundina was the capital of Vidarbha, identified with Kaudinyapura in Amravati division. Okay. His son was Rukmini, and his daughter was Rukmini. Okay. King of Vidarbha. Bhishmaka's son was Rukmi and his daughter was Rukmini. His daughter was Rukmini. Krishna desired Rukmini. The one with the beautiful smiles also desired him. However, because of his hatred, Rukmi did not wish that she should be bestowed on the one who holds the chakra. Meaning Rukmi, his brother. Her brother did not want her to get married to Krishna, the one holding the chakra. Urged by Jarasandha and Rukmi, Bhishmaka, extensive in his valor, bestowed Rukmini on Shishupala. All the kings, with Jarasandha as the foremost and Shishupala, went to Bhishmaka's city of Kundina to witness the marriage of the king of Chedi, that is Shishupala. Surrounded by the Yadus, Krishna and Balabhadra also went to Kundina. Though Rama and the other relatives opposed it, on the day before the marriage, Hari abducted the maiden. At this, the prosperous Paundraka, Dantavakra, Viduratha, Shishupala, Jarasandha, Shalva and other kings became angry and made great efforts to kill Hari. Acha, Paundraka is he a representative of Bengal because of Paundravardhan or Paundra? I wonder. If anyone has any knowledge of this person or the Brahma Purana in general, let me know. And I have also one other question. Is it supposed to be pronounced as Brahma Purana or Brahma Purana? Because I thought it's about the supreme Brahman or something, the Brahma. But if it's about the god Brahma, or are they the same? I don't know. All this while I was pronouncing it as Brahma Purana. I think it's supposed to be Brahma Purana. Because in Bengali I had read somewhere that it's Brahmo Purana. But if it's really about the god Brahma and in his name, then it's supposed to be Brahma Purana in Bengali as well. So let me know if you all know about this anything. Dada, open discussion rakho. Yeah, when we discuss some other time. Brahma, so double A or single A? Abhay Agarwal. Yeah, Ram Abhay. So, who is Paundraka? Is he from Bengal? However, they were defeated by Rama and the assembled bulls among the Yadus. Okay. So they had a fight with all these kings. I will not enter Kundina without killing Keshava in a battle. Having taken this pledge, Rukmi rushed against Krishna so as to kill him. The one with the chakra toyed with him and slew his forces, consisting of elephants, horses, infantry and chariots. He defeated him and flung him down on the ground. Having vanquished Rukmi, following the norms of the Rakshasa form of marriage, Madhusudana married Rukmini. There were 8 forms of marriage which we have discussed in our Manusmriti live streams. Brahma, Daiva, Arsha, Prajapatya, Asura, Gandharva, Rakshasa and Paishacha. So this is the Asura form of marriage. Eloping, basically. Pradyumna, Madana's portion, was born through Rukmini. The valiant one was abducted by Shambhara, but he killed Shambhara. The sages asked Vyasa, who is narrating this story, the sages asked, how was the valiant one abducted by Shambhara and how did he kill him? O immensely intelligent one, please describe this divine account to us. Vyasa replied, O Brahmanas, this will kill me. Thinking this, on the 6th day after birth, Kalashambhara thought this one will kill me. Kalashambhara abducted Pradyumna from the delivery chamber. Okay, Kalashambhara is the same as Shambhara. Having abducted him, he flung him into the extremely terribly salty ocean, full of turbulent waves and whirlpools and the abode of crocodiles and makaras. As he fell there, a fish swallowed the infant. Despite the blazing digestive fire inside the stomach, he did not die. O Brahmanas, along with other fish, this fish was caught by those who captured fish. They killed it and offered it to Shambhara, the noble Asura. His wife, named Mayawati, was the mistress of the entire household. The unblemished one supervised everything that the cooks did. When the stomach of the fish was sliced open, she saw an extremely beautiful child resembling new sprouts on Manmatha's tree after it was burned. There is an allusion to Manmatha having been burnt down by Shiva. The slender-limbed one asked, who is this? How did he enter here? Narada replied, Krishna is the one who causes the creation and destruction of the entire universe, and this is his son. Shambhara abducted him from the delivery chamber and flung him into the ocean. Swallowed by a fish, he has now come under your subjugation. O one with the excellent eyebrows, this is a jewel among men. Rear him, raise him. Rear him without any hesitation. End quote. Addressed in this way by Narada, she reared the child. Right from his childhood, she was confounded by his beauty and felt a great deal of love for him. O excellent Brahmanas, when he was adorned with the bloom of youth, the one with the gait of an elephant desired him. Mayavati taught the great-souled one all her Maya. She thought that Pradyumna was just like her, and her heart and eyes were immersed in him. When she wished to unite with him, Krishna's lotus-eyed son replied to her. Pradyumna said, casting aside maternal behavior, why are you acting in this perverse way? She told him, you are not my son. You are Vishnu's son and you have been abducted by Kalashambhara. He flung you into the ocean. I obtained you from the stomach of a fish. Your mother is crying for you. However, your beloved, who loves you a lot, is here. Hearing this, Pradyumna challenged Shambhara to a fight. The immensely strong one's mind was full of rage and he fought. Madhava's son slew all the Daitya soldiers. After crossing 7 forms of Maya, he fought using the 8th kind of Maya. 8th kind of Maya is, a footnote is given. The word Maya should be interpreted as power, with a hierarchy or layer in these. The first 7 powers or layers were known to Shambhara and were taught by Mayavati to Pradyumna. When Shambhara used these against Pradyumna, he could counter them. The 8th or higher form of Maya was Vaishnavi Maya, known to Pradyumna, but not known to Shambhara. Interesting. So, using this Maya, the Vaishnavi Maya, let me just underline this. He killed the Daitya Kalashambhara. Taking her with him, he went to his father's city. With Mayavati, he descended in the inner quarters. They descended because they traveled through the sky and arrived in the inner quarters. So that's why it means descend. It's said that they descended. On seeing him, Krishna's women were delighted but did not know what to do. The unblemished Rukmini's eyes were fixed on him with affection and she spoke lovingly. Rukmini said, "You are in the bloom of youth and a mother with a son like you is blessed. Were my son Pradyumna to be alive, he would have been of the same age. O son, since your mother has been adorned by you, she is fortunate. Or because of my affection towards you, perhaps you are one of Hari's sons. O son, that seems to be apparent from your form, which is like his. At that time, Narada arrived along with Krishna. Delighted, he, meaning Krishna, spoke to the queen Rukmini, who was roaming around in the inner quarters. Sri Krishna said, O one with the excellent eyebrows, meaning Rukmini, this is indeed your son. After having been abducted by Shambhara, he has returned. When he was still an infant, he was abducted from your delivery chamber. This virtuous Mayawati is his wife. She is not Shambhara's wife. Listen to the reason for this. O Rukmini, when Manmatha was destroyed, she, Rati, meaning Manmatha's wife Rati, waited for him to be born again. Using a form made out of Maya, she confounded Shambhara. In the course of marriage and enjoyment with the Daitya, this auspicious one with the intoxicating eyes only showed him the form made out of Maya. Kama has again been born as your son, and this is his beloved Rati. You should not harbor any doubts. This is your beautiful daughter-in-law. End quote. After this, Rukmini and Keshava were filled with joy. The entire city uttered words of praise. On seeing that Rukmini had got back and was united with her son, who had been destroyed a long time ago, all the people in Dwaravati were astounded. Next subchapter is called Rukmi's death, Rukmini's brother. Interesting story. Wait. Let me check some comments. Brahma Purana. Single A. So Brahma Purana, not Brahma Purana. I see. What is happening with Bengali Dravidianism? Oh my god. I lost a few brain cells. I forgot a lot about history. Holy fuck, what the hell was that? Anyway, if you all don't know, although in every language, in every part of the country, there are Dravidian people talking about Aryan and Dravidian insane history, but this is the first time I found something in Bengali. So people who know Bengali, do check out those videos on my community tab. Okay, it's insane, the stuff they are discussing. Especially check out not the sermons of that person Dino Krishna Thakur. Check out the debates, not basically a conversation he's having with the host of that YouTube channel. Okay, that YouTube channel is called Bahujan Voice of Bahujan. Now the stuff they discussed was insane. So Krishna, Lord Krishna is from an Asura family. He was hated, and of course idol worship is bad. Now idol worship is bad का इतना सारा unity है. Idol worship is bad बोलने वालों में. So I can't criticize them for saying just that. But and then they said that Sanskrit was invented in 1464 AD, and they said that in every video in that channel, that Voice of Bahujan, they have a disclaimer saying that you can't sue us, don't get pissed off, because we are doing what's recommended in the constitution as what's the duty of art, etc. तो एक constitution का कुछ article का नाम भी दे रखा है, which is that the duty of art is to promote scientific temperament. So they are all about scientific temperament, and their main argument is that this idol worshipping, believing in these Aryan gods, Brahmanical gods, the Brahmins have always used these concepts and philosophies to keep the poor Dalits down in their lives and Shudras down in their lives and keep them unsuccessful. Because as long as you promote these non-scientific things like idol worshipping and believing in a god who's roaming about, then you won't have any scientific temper, and therefore you will be unsuccessful in your life. So that's what they want. So they promote these things. Now, the examples that they gave is where basically the Marxist arguments come in, and that's when I realized that okay, it's enough to convince maybe a person who has not read enough. So only thing that can be done to counter these things is that the places where these guys, this person called Dino Krishna Thakur is going around preaching his sermons basically, and I think there is some foreign funding or foreign hand in this. It seems like a cliche, but it is exactly how black supremacist politics has been pursued in USA. Okay, so I think someone is giving them this model that don't randomly go and tell them to not believe in God. That's not going to work. That's the mistake Marxists made, and that's why Dalits never fully became Marxist, or even lower caste Shudras did not fully become Marxists. They maybe voted for your party once in a while, but they remained fully in the Hindu fold. If you want to break that bond with their religion, you have to use religion itself, which is what people like Jesse Jackson and many other preachers in the black civil rights movement, not Martin Luther King, even he was a fully devout Christian. But after that, people who are now saying that when America reached the epitome of racial blindness, okay, that, oh, I don't even recognize you're black or white, I just want you to hire for the good job you're doing. That's when America all of a sudden starts saying that no, racism is going around everywhere, and it's almost like it's worse than ever. Those things had been pursued by preachers. They were all devout Christians who were going into black churches and saying that, see, white people are so bad. And I think that model is being followed here, and someone has told them that, no, don't go around saying that Krishna is bad, you don't need to believe in him. Use Krishna. Say you are from an Asura family, so is Krishna. And Krishna is everywhere. He's not in any idol, therefore don't believe him. And the other Marxist arguments that they came up with was things like the usual, that if there is evil, okay, then where's the proof of God? There is no God because evil exists. And then even those petty ones, like if a Hindu really believes in God, wait, I'll tell you the exact most hilarious one. Something like if they believed in religion, and they think that all these things supersede science, why won't they stop sending their kids? Brahmins won't stop sending their kids to study science, okay? They are only saying those things to you so that you don't study science, etc. Those things. But my most irritating observation I found in that is that they are talking about scientific temperament, okay, fine. There always needs to be a counter to casteism, fair enough. But the counter to casteism obviously has to come from the Hindu fold, who don't believe in Aryan Dravidian things, basically the BJP RSS model. And frankly, there's no one's really better at doing this than BJP and RSS as in terms of an organization. But anyway, so these people are now hijacking the hatred against Brahmin movement, etc. But the host of the channel, who is always talking about scientific temperament, the Dino Krishna Thakur person, who is pretty well versed in Hindu scripture, he's quoting random quotes from everywhere all the time, and then saying that all this is wrong and useless. But so the two guys promoting scientific temper, when they recommend books, that's when everything falls apart. That's when you see it's all a house of cards. What books do they recommend? They recommend books which no one has heard of, absolutely obscure, random, uncredentialed historians from the Navayana Buddhism fold. Okay, Pushamitra Shunga ne kya kiya? Books like those. And a few months back, I had been reading a Facebook, some regular Facebook posts by a Bangladeshi old person. He was saying that all these Sanskritized Bengali words came in Bengal later on because of evil Brahmin Bengali Pandits. But before that, we used words like pani for jala, okay? All the Urdu words which came because of Urdu Islamic invasions. The people in Bangladesh, at least that guy and a lot of his supporters were claiming that those were the original Bengali language's words, but the Sanskritized words were later forced upon them. So now I'm understanding that where are they getting these ideas and politics from? They are getting these from our Navayana Buddhism folk. And another big red flag was that Dino Krishna Thakur person was saying that the idea of religion is to spread brotherhood, unity. If there is any mention of dirty things, nongramo, any evil things like beating your wife or not letting these people marry among each other or recommending violence against each other, then it's not religion, etc. My Krishna never does that. And then he says, King Ashok was such a great king. That's when you know that they absolutely know zero history and have been reading or are deliberately embracing the Marxist reading of history, because Ashoka was a forgotten fucking asshole of a king. Okay, he was named Chandashok. He was not celebrated. He was deliberately forgotten by people because he was a mass murderer. There is a difference between killing people in war and killing people in a genocide. He did genocides. He's the Buddhist version of Aurangzeb. He killed 18,000 Ajivikas in 2 days just because one Ajivika cent or a few Ajivika cents made the equivalent of a cartoon in those days of Gautama Buddha. And then he massacred the people in Kalinga. Then he built and pillar elsewhere, saying that yes, I do regret that in a way. But remember, if you piss me off, I'll do that again to you. Okay, so that Ashoka, if someone says that this Ashoka is the greatest king because he promoted religious harmony and caste-based harmony, you know their history is absolutely bullshit and you need to stop taking them seriously. But anyway, that's what's up. Ashoka was powerful, not great. Yes, well said. Actually, great is not a positive compliment. Great is also a neutral compliment. Great means something significant. So you can say Ashoka is actually great, but not good or a nice person, because there's that great dialogue in Harry Potter which I'll never forget. When Harry Potter as a kid first time goes to buy that wand in Ollivander's shop, and Ollivander tells him about that big villain in Harry Potter, Voldemort. Okay, so he says he was great. He did terrible things, and he was terrible but great. So great is significant. Ashoka had embraced Buddhism before Kalinga War, only which Pratyam video on him they proved it. Yes, Sanjeev Sanyal made this mainstream in the first place. I know I'm just too possessive about Sanjeev Sanyal, so I won't let anyone else take credit for it. Sanjeev Sanyal is the one who popularized this idea, who basically reminded that Are bhai, Ashoka was never he never became Buddhist then became apologetic. No, he was already Buddhist, then he did Kalinga, then he didn't even actually apologize for it. He used the Kalinga war to threaten some other people in some other pillar elsewhere. Srinivasa Ramanujan, after giving major contribution to maths and physics and discovering many equations, sab Devi Ma ki kripa hai bro. Yes. Okay, let me check some other comments. That's a Bengali video, I think. Check Dada's community posts. Yes. Were Bengali Dravidians? Yes, Bengalis are Dravidians. Anyone who has remotely dark skin and does not have a Brahmin surname is a Dravidian. Yeah. Everyone is Dravid now. Bro, you are doing great work in the world where Hindus usually don't read their scriptures. Yes. And I am now at that point in my life where I know what I don't know. Just yesterday I had shared one great video from a Christian Orthodox scholar. So that guy is pursuing his PhD in a Christian seminary, and for his thesis I think he's doing research on Hinduism, and I saw his it's a little more than 1 hour. I think we'll do a react video on that as well. 99% he was very fair and accurate. What a great guy. And 1% he was wrong. That's because he specified it in the beginning that basically Dharma is a law sometimes it's a duty, but in the end he said that it kind of leads people to believing in moral relativism, that there is no absolute good and absolute bad, therefore people will kind of do anything and justify it, which is the argument that people like Kushal Mehra and Abhijit Iyer Mitra also have with decoloniality, that if you say things like no, we will criticize casteism with our own lens, etc. Aren't you not going to end up defending casteism? Okay. Now, the mistake that that Christian Orthodox scholar made is that he forgets that there are still laws and rules. The laws and rules made by a particular king, whether it's from Dharma Shastras or Artha Shastra, those are the laws which are saying that no, just because there is no absolute truth or absolute wrong philosophically in a way, if at all that is the case, there are still things that you are allowed to do and not allowed to do by the government, by the Rajya, by the king. So it's not all ambiguous. And the kings who are making those laws are doing that in consultation with their priests, who are all experts in Vedas. None of it's going to happen if it's in contradiction with the Vedas. So it's not like Vedas cannot be interpreted in a way to come up with absolute goods and absolute wrongs. Okay, so that's one thing he got wrong in that entire 1 hour video. And then he has a part 2, which is a 25-minute Q&A right after that his speech itself. There he says, I think one mistake he made is that no, I forgot what's the mistake, but you all should check it out. So yeah, my point was that this guy, the best thing that I liked about him is that I really understand that he has absolutely read a lot, because in many of the answers that the crowd asked him, the audience asked him, he straight away said, I don't know. And in many And as a reply to many questions, he said, I don't know totally, and in some he said, I know, I'm saying this is the case, but it also might not be the case because there are some views inside Hinduism which might disagree with it. So you see, this guy absolutely knows what he doesn't know. That's the Dunning-Kruger effect. In order to know what you don't know, uske liye bhi thoda padhai karna padta hai. And that guy knows basically more about Hinduism than all Indian Marxists combined together. Because Marxists don't even know what they don't know. That is the Rajashinan, the idea that, okay, maybe Hinduism is liberal, maybe it's woke. तुम्हें कैसे पता? तुमने क्या पढ़ लिया? तुमने तो गीता का 4 कोट यहाँ वहाँ सुना है. और maybe Hinduism is regressive. Maybe. तुम्हें कैसे पता? Okay. So that is my idea now. Even I'm reading as many primary sources as possible. Because now I know what I don't know. 5-year-old saw in news, 5-year-old Battle of Bangla Pakho won. That is Bangla being mandatory for all mediums on all boards. Fair enough. In ISC board, how can that be compulsory for all boards? Can the state government direct ISC boards? Because in ISC boards, when I was in class 7, 8, 9, during those days, second language was compulsory. If you had second language as Bengali, you'll have to study it up to 12. By the time I reached class 10, all of a sudden second language became optional in 11 and 12. And that was a pretty evil move by ISC board, because then you know that, okay, now you don't have to give remotely any shit about your mother tongue. Now, if that is bypassed, and if it's a victory for Bangla Pakho, fair enough. I want people to learn Bengali. But I don't know how is that legally possible. How can the state government say ISC board, which is based in Delhi, that no, you have to teach this particular subject? If that there is a legal leeway to that, then more things can be thrust upon. That's good. Pani is also from Sanskrit, Paniya, I see. Not Jala, okay, interesting. So they are saying that Hindu Dharma is Brahmanism and Krishna is not Hindu. This is narrative they want to set, yes. Yes, Sanskrit being born in 1494 AD is scientific temper, yes. 1464 AD. JSD is Dravidian Nayyar. Yes. Do general people giving them views? Oh my God, you won't believe the views. That is the main sad part of the Dravidian movements, right? All their hatred is towards Brahmins. Brahmins did this, did that, but they pretend like all that is being done by Brahmins even today. And the even more hilarious part is that they pretend that like all that is being done to them even today in Bengal, which is not remotely the case. That shit is not going on in Bengal, bro. Bengal is absolutely caste blind. A few people from my previous generation, like my father or grandfather's generation, some Brahmins still follow some endogamy that they really don't want to do it in a way. But there's no hard and fast enforcement of casteism in Bengal at all. So if they are claiming that, it's a straw man. But more importantly, the sad part about Dravidianism is that they have absolutely no counter ever to anything that Muslims do to Dalits or Hindus or Shudras. That is the sad part. They could have been a great counter to real vicious Brahmins doing casteism and peeing on people, etc. Okay. Those things can be countered by a devout person like Dino Krishna Thakur, who has actually read scriptures, is quoting them left and right, and then purposefully misinterpreting them. But they are pretending like all the troubles are being created by Brahmins today. I wanted to give another example of that, which is I forgot the example. Wait. Oh yeah. You said the Sangramjit asked, do general people are they giving them views? Yeah. So there I saw the audience is so charged up with Dino Krishna Thakur's speeches. Okay. The host guy, Voice of Bahujan, he is going on saying that Brahmins are evil, etc. And using pretty vicious words for Brahmins and Hinduism and all gods, Mahabharata, Ramayana in general. Okay. क्या बोलना, मतलब सिर्फ भोसरी वाले सुअर का बच्चा ये सब बोलना बाकी रख दिया. बाकी जितना बोल सकते हैं सब कुछ बोल दिया. Only I think few fringe farthest of the farthest left commies speak like that about Hinduism and Hindus. No one else. Or maybe some obscure Maulana inside the mosque talks about Hinduism like that. No one in public talks like that the way Navayana Buddhists and these Dravidian Hindus, so-called Hindus, talk about Hinduism. But there in the live stream chat I saw, everyone is saying that let any Brahmin or any upper caste lay one finger on Dino Krishna Thakur. We have to protect him. We will end all Brahmins. We will end these Aryans, etc. So that's when I realized, अरे भोसरी के क्या किस तरफ बंदूक ताक करके बैठा है, कौन थ्रेट है, ब्राह्मण आ रहा है तेरा जेनोसाइड करने. So you see, it's a very idiotic and motivated, deliberately motivated move to either neutralize them as an opponent of true genocide creators and pattharbazes, or they are just that stupid that they think all their threat is coming from Brahmins today. Okay, let's see some other comments. Some leftists are saying that Palas had destroyed many Buddhist temples. I don't know. If that is the case, then that flies in the face of Dravidians as well, because they think Pals were Buddhist kings. Okay, yeah, that is another example they gave, that if idol worship is so great, then why are Pals, who are traditionally people with Pal surnames, are the idol creators, sculptors, okay, for all Durga Puja purposes, etc. So why are they so dirt poor if idol worshipping is so great? Why isn't God coming in and making them billionaires right now? Okay. Apologies, joined too late, too much work. Nice. Good. Be busy. Create economic opportunities for yourself and lift us from poverty. Deliver us from poverty. Dharma is an overarching principle which sustains. Yes. Jai Bangla, Jai Bangla. Or a set of overarching principles. Some people confuse it with only the religious or belief aspect of it. Yes. Belief aspect se yaad aaya, I read a great explanation of what religion might be. So there are roots. Imagine if the entire religion is a tree. Roots are the people, the members. The trunk is the philosophy, and the leaves are the rituals and the daily actions that you need to protect, etc. Something like that. So yeah, rituals, the religious beliefs are an aspect of religion, but there is the philosophy, there is the way of life, there are the wisdom, etc. Everything. Or set of overarching principles, some people confusing it with only the religious. Yes, that's why ISC students are very deracinated from their culture and language. Yes, remove casteism, Dravidianism is dead. Yes. Shangramjit Chaudhary. I know that why I am asking, because I also live in Kolkata. I haven't seen any casteism. Yes. Why many ancient Shiva and Vishnu temples in Southeast Asia are replaced by Buddha and Buddhist deities? Yes. They did that because they were Dravidians and were against casteism. All the major genocides of lower castes and caste Bengalis are committed by you know which community. Yes. What about Ma Durga, Ma Kali? Because Bengali are mainly worship Shakti. Yes, Bengalis mainly worship Shakti. Yes, they are also Dravidian. Oh no, Durga is Aryan because she killed a Dravidian Asura called Mahisasur, and communists. Yes. Okay, let's get back to Brahma Purana. Vyasa said. So we are going to discuss Rukmi's death now. Vyasa said, Rukmini gave birth to 8 sons. Charudeshna, Sudeshna, the handsome Charudeha, Sushena, Charugupta, Bhadracharu, Charuvinda, and Charu, supreme among strong ones. She also had a daughter, Charumati. Other than this, Krishna had 7 other beautiful wives: Kalindi, Maitravinda, Satya, the daughter of Nagnajit, who is Nagnajit, therefore also known as Nagnajiti. Okay. Queen Jambavati, who was always content. Rohini, the daughter of the king of Madra, who was full of good qualities and was always good in conduct. Satyabhama, the daughter of Satrajit, and Lakshmana, who had a beautiful smile. The wielder of the chakra, meaning Krishna, had 16,000 other wives. In a Swayamvara, Rukmi's auspicious daughter chose the immensely valiant Pradyumna, Hari's son, and married him. These two had an extremely strong and valiant son, Aniruddha. This scorcher of enemies was valiant, but was captured in a battle. A footnote is given. The story will be told in chapters 96 and 97. Aniruddha was captured by Bana. Aniruddha means someone who cannot be stopped or captured. Thus, the text has a pun with the word captured. Rukmi was Rukmini's brother. Aniruddha was the son of Pradyumna, the son of Krishna and Rukmini. Pradyumna's wife was Mayawati, Rukmi's daughter. Thus, Aniruddha was Rukmi's daughter's son. Aniruddha was married to Usha, Bana's daughter, but he was also married to Rochana, Rukmi's granddaughter. For him, this scorcher of enemies was valiant but was captured in a battle. For him, Keshava accepted Rukmi's granddaughter. Though Rukmi sought to rival Shauri, he bestowed her on his daughter's son. O Brahmanas, on the occasion of the marriage, along with Hari, Rama and the other Yadavas went to Rukmi's city, known by the name of Bhojakata. Let's see what footnote. Rukmi had pledged that he would not enter Kundina without killing Krishna, but was instead defeated by Krishna. Therefore, instead of Kundina, he started to live in Bhojakata. When the marriage was over, the kings, with the king of Kalinga as the foremost, addressed Rukmi in these words. Kalinga and the others said, so in that case, Pondrika is some sort of a representative king from Bengal, because here the king is being called Kalinga. Kalinga and the others said, the wielder of the plow, meaning Balarama, is not skilled in playing dice, but he has great addiction towards it. O immensely radiant one, therefore we will defeat Bala in a match with the dice. Rukmi, who was full of strength, agreed to what the kings had said. In an assembly hall, he started a match of dice against Rama. When the stake was 1,000 nishkas, Rukmi defeated Bala. A nishka is a coin made out of gold. On the second day, Rukmi won another 1,000 Baladeva wished to win, but Rukmi, who possessed excellent knowledge about playing dice, put up a stake of 10,000 nishkas. O Brahmanas, at this, the foolish lord of Kalinga showed all his teeth and laughed at Bala. Puffed up with pride, Rukmi spoke. Rukmi said, O those in the assembly, Bala is ignorant and has been defeated by me in playing dice. Whether it is fighting or the knowledge about playing dice, he is ignorant. End quote. The wielder of the plow, Bala, saw that the king of Kalinga was exhibiting his teeth. He heard Rukmi's wicked words and became angry. Full of rage, the wielder of the plow put up a stake of 1 crore nishkas. Accepting the wager, Rukmi rolled the dice. Having won, Baladeva said, this has been won by me. However, Rukmi uttered false words and told Bala, it is mine. It is true that you had mentioned the stake, but I had not accepted it. In that case, if you have won, how is it that I have not won? An invisible voice that rumbled deeply was heard in the sky, and this voice from the sky said, Baladeva has won and Rukmi has uttered a falsehood. Even though words have not been spoken, there are things that are accepted through deeds. This increased the great-souled Baladeva's rage. Bala stood up and his eyes were red with anger. Using the Ashtapada, meaning Ashtapada is the board used for playing dice. It has 8 Ashta squares along each side. So, using the Ashtapada, the immensely strong one killed Rukmi. वो board से ही मार दिया. The king of Kalinga was trembling and Bala forcibly seized him. In rage, he knocked out the teeth that he had exhibited while he was laughing. Bala dragged the great pillar that was made out of molten gold. Using that, the angry Bala killed the kings who were on the other side. O Brahmanas, Bala was angry with that entire assembly of kings, and as all of them started to run away, there were sounds of lamentation. Madhusudana heard that Bala had killed Rukmi. However, because he was scared of Rukmini and Bala, he did not utter a single word. Whether he approved of the action or disapproved, he would have offended one or the other. Yeah. O excellent Brahmanas, now that the wedding was over, along with Keshava, the Yadus took Aniruddha with them and returned to Dwarka. Wow, so Madhusudana heard that Bala had killed Rukmi. However, because he was scared of Rukmini and Bala, he did not utter a single word. Yeah, because if he spoke out against it or for it, either Rukmini or Bala would get pissed off, or they would get offended. So he did not speak anything. He kept his silence. Interesting. So Yadus took Aniruddha with them and returned to Dwarka. Great. Okay, now a new subchapter begins. It's called Naraka's Death. And before that, I want to discuss what I had mentioned in the community tab, a connection between a Bengali Nazi and a French woman and G.D. Savarkar. Okay, see how all that connects. It's a fascinating thing I found out yesterday. Okay, let me just check some comments before that. What do you think about inbreeding in Mahabharata, like Subhadra and Arjun? Wait, let me check all the comments before that. Idiots, it goes like that. If it goes like that, we will witness another Noakhali. Mathamotas forgot all Dalit Bengalis were killed in Noakhali. Yes, and you know what people are going to say. These people who are having these YouTube channels called Voice of Bahujan, or even Dino Krishna Thakur himself. They will either take the position of Jogendranath Mondal, which is they will just return and complain and write letters and die in the end, sadly, saying that Hindus kind of seem less evil than Muslims, so what can we do? So that's the one position they are going to probably end up taking. Or they will simply say that because deep in their hearts they can't get out of the Marxist economics mindset. That is the main problem. So at the end of the day, what they are probably going to say is that because they were poor, because there was evil capitalism, because there was Brahminical capitalism, because rich people got richer, poor got poorer, because of rising income inequality, these people were left vulnerable. Which is see, the best possible answer to all this is basically decolonizing our self-defense laws. Because I don't think there is really a religious unity sort of a thing possible with Hindus based on what I've read so far, because it's very individual centric. There's no call for action unless any movement is a direct call for action that, hey, be united and do this, be united and do this. I have not found any such thing in any those kind of directives in any primary source so far. It's all about how to lead your life, your wisdom, your connection with your God, your lineage, your ancestors, your wife, your husband, those kind of things. There is no call of action. तो ये कॉल ऑफ एक्शन हमारे यहाँ पूरी तरह से इंडिविजुअल्स पे डिपेंडेंट है. तो वहाँ पे decolonizing self-defense laws and making sure people are able to own guns legally is the best way. Otherwise, what you'll have to do is conjure up a call of action, or interpret, or just Abrahamize or make Hinduism rigid in some way, and claim that no, now all of a sudden we are a community that calls for action, and we are one whole united community, and there is no casteism or something, because it's you can see it's still failing. There is still casteism going on in some parts of the country, and where there is no casteism, there are people who are conjuring up casteism. So all these problems can be solved by letting people have guns, because then you don't have to wait for Hindu unity. You don't have to claim that Hinduism is a call for action, nor do the Dalits have to be vulnerable in front of pattharbazes. All this is solved by that one law. But the other thing I want is that therefore anti-conversion bills and reservation both have to be scrapped off immediately, because it creates wrong incentives. It creates unacceptable incentives for both sides. When there is reservation, what you are saying is that, see, your ancestors were oppressed, now you are still oppressed, even though you are maybe pretty middle class, upper middle class, you are still oppressed in some way. Or if you are really poor, there are poor Brahmins as well, why can't they have some reservation as well? So there are incentives in that okay, know a little less, study a little less hard, you'll get the job anyway. Or if you are maybe qualified to study in University X, you will still get an admission in University Y, which is much greater, and you won't be able to cope, and then you will probably kill yourself or drop out, wasting the seat. Or all the years of public funding that we have put in your education, all that's going to go to waste because you killed yourself. And when you have an anti-conversion bill, what you're saying is that first of all, people don't have the right to choose and use their actual brains. I'm using the best case scenario, not the missionary rise back thing. If a person has really read a lot of scripture and has decided, no, this is not my religion, I want to try that religion, you are going to, and if you are going to prevent that, you are going to create a lot of stupid people, a general stupid mass of people, a critical mass of stupid citizens, which we have to a large extent already. The quality of our discourse is obviously pretty hilarious compared to some other countries, right? And why is that? I think the biggest cause for that is free speech in itself, because you can't have really free speech without a right to own firearms. That's bullshit. Anyone who says that there can be free speech without a right to defend yourself, they have absolutely no idea what free speech is. But anyway, because at the end of the day, law and order can't be guarding your home 24/7. Some point or the other, someone is going to get pissed off what you said and is going to come to attack you, and you have to have a deterrent in your house anyway. But since we don't have free speech, since we have not even remotely asked for free speech ever in our history, since 1947 at least, so therefore our population has remained stupid to a large extent. Our discourse is pretty low level, because if you are not even allowed to think, if you know that anything you say, if you go a little left of this or a little right of this, someone or the other is always going to get pissed off, file an FIR in your name, some political party is going to get pissed off with you. So you'll stop thinking. You don't have to use your brains. That's the same case with anti-conversion laws and bills. You stop feeling an interest in scriptures or any religious studies, and you stop reading anyone else. Maybe that's something, some other religion might have actually helped you. I'm saying this for all religions. So you are basically deterring people from reading more, and that's never a good thing. So anti-conversion bill, first of all, is a problem because of that. But the more important problem is that it makes Hindus more complacent. They don't have to work extra hard at reaching out or convincing lower castes, because they have the excuse that तुमको तो reservation मिल रहा है और क्या चाहिए तुमको. They have that grievance forever. All upper caste, mainly Brahmins, have that grievance all around the country. Then there is the second layer becomes that, okay, you are not going to be allowed to convert also. Even if you are poor and you are given a rice bag, you won't be able to convert anyway. So there's more incentive for me to not work extra hard or put an effort to reaching out to you, to look after you, or to maybe care for you in some way, in some philanthropic way. So in both ways, reservation and anti-conversion bill creates bad incentives for long-term incentives, which are absolutely detrimental to the society. Okay. How old was Sita when Ram married her, considering they existed in the first place? I don't know. So endogamy. What do you think about inbreeding in Mahabharat like Subhadra and Arjun? I don't know. Is there a consensus that they were inbreeding? Maybe in some point of time someone may have practiced that. Who knows? Ishab golpo pore ki labh. Because you'll know what the society was. I'm saying from a scholarly perspective. There are two ways to read any scripture, right? There is the practitioner way of approaching it, because you want to know what your gods were saying and were doing. And there is the scholarly approach to it, that what does this religion say? What are the fundamentals, or what are the different things that have been said about this religion? What did the practitioners say about this religion? Because I don't want to know what the Marxists said about the religion. I know it already. Here I'm reading what are the practitioners of that religion, how they are depicting their gods. That's the fascinating part about it. So if you want to know about get the entire ethos of this majority community, which Marxists or atheists claim comes magically one fine morning in 1947 out of a book called Constitution, which is not the case according to me. So I'm tracing back further. तो ये ethos कहाँ से आ रहा है? For that you'll have to read Brahma Puran. It's the same as teaching the Bible in English literature classes. Do you know Bible is taught in English literature graduation and masters? At least in presidency I know it is taught. I don't know about other colleges and universities. Why is that? Because every lexicon, figure of speech, the way the language is shaped, all the metaphors, sarcasm, all that comes from the Bible itself. So if you want to know English literature, if you want to know the general ethos of any English author, you will have to read the English Bible. वहाँ से ही सब कुछ आ रहा है, वही उसका स्रोत है. तो हमारे लिए भी ये सब पुराण, ऋग्वेद, यही सब सोर्स है. Unless you are not interested in history, unless you are not interested in society, culture, etc., and if you are just interested in blaming capitalism, blaming Biharis, then fine, then you don't have to really read Brahma Puran. But I am not interested in that, and I know some economics, which is why I'm not a dumbass Marxist. And I know how Indian society is different, and why Indian society was not created one fine morning in 1947 by when the Constitution was written. So I'm tracing back further, and I'm finding out how this society came about. What created this society? What are all the books that created this society? That's the point of reading Brahma Puran. হিরণ সরকার তো শুনো না তুমি? না, আমার গল্প করতে আর ভাট বকতে ভালো লাগে এত রাতে. ওকে, ইয়া, See, the this very fact that you just called Brahmapuran Bhatbaka and you are still alive, and I have absolutely no intention of killing you, that ethos in me has not come from constitution, okay? That ethos has been ingrained in me long before, and that is why I'm reading Brahmapuran. Have you guys seen the news about Somalian female sprinter? Oh my god, yes. She looked pregnant. Okay. হিরণ সরকার, স্কুলে রবি ঠাকুরের গল্প পড়ানো হয়, শেক্সপিয়ারের নাটক কেন পড়ানো হয়? Okay, Hiran Sarkar message retracted. Where they are getting the most of support in Kolkata only, or in parts of West Bengal? No, they are getting support in Mofussil towns only. You should see the sermons. I shared some sermons also. Now the problem is, when someone is really great at their job, it's very hard to defeat them. Marxists are really great scholars as far as what scholars are supposed to do, which is that you have to do your PhD. You have to read few quotes from few primary sources from 1,000 journals. Primary source koi nahi padta India mein, as far as I know. And you have to create a thesis. You have to create you have to claim something which is in line with your guide, with your general department. I'm talking about liberal arts, of course. You have to preferably talk about Kashmir, casteism, or gender oppression, and your funding will come through. And then you have to write something based on some quotes you have written, you have seen on journals. But the one thing that does is absolutely a necessity to do that is a rigorous academic rigor and pretty dedicated and focused hard work aspect there is, okay, okay, which is that you'll have to read so much, check out so many sources, etc., give citations. It's a pretty rigorous work. So they are good at what they're trying to do. It's not effective in some in real life, that's a different thing. But what they are meant to do, they are good in that. That's the same thing with this person, Dinokrishna Thakur. His oratory skills is 100 on 100. He knows lots of quotes from lots of scriptures. He's a great performer. He can speak dramatically with insanely incredible voice modulation skills. Okay, if he was a goddamn voiceover artist, he would be a millionaire by now. And going from which is the basic skill set of any kirtan artist, right? He goes from speaking in great voice modulations and immediately switches to singing flawlessly, absolutely smoothly. So when a performer is effective to that extent, it's going to take an equally great performer to be that effective in countering his ideas. So obviously, and people in villages, absolutely dirt poor people, who are not consuming great art in any other way. They are probably only sitting on YouTube and checking some random videos. But that's not high art that they are getting on YouTube, right? They are not seeing great web series, etc. The best art they are consuming is from this person called Dinokrishna Thakur. And if Dinokrishna Thakur says that Hinduism is bad and Brahmins are your biggest enemy, then they will say yes, we will gather up and defend Dinokrishna Thakur. We'll kill any Aryan Brahmin who comes in our front, okay, comes in front of us, even though that's not going to happen anytime soon. So countering this is pretty tough. Okay, let me check some more comments. হিরণ সরকার, গল্প মানে গল্প, মিথ মানে তোমার মতে কি? हिरण सरकार, लो ले एटीट्यूड है कैथोलिक चर्च. अरे बंगाली में बात कर रहा है सब लोग. गैलीलियो सेड अर्थ रिवॉल्व्स अराउंड सन. कोंटा गल्प कोंटा मिथ. दे विल गो जय भीम जय मीम. यस. मिथ बोलते पीसफुल कोएग्जिस्टेंस विथ पीसफुल कम्युनिटी, बट दिस मिथ इज कंसिडर्ड ट्रूथ बाय देम. Dada, your proposals are right, but it's too much for many Kattar Hindus, right-wingers, commies and Dravidians to understand, so it's not gonna happen. Yeah. White Raptor, yep, my grandma runs faster. Faster than whom? You can teach about moral values and human nature through stories. These things are done by Ramayana and Mahabharata. Yes, even if these are myths, it doesn't put down their value. Philosophy is important. Yes. Okay, linguist is saying Atharva Veda, Itihasa and Purana, stories of ancient times, Gathas, legends, and Narasanas. How to pronounce that? Linguist, just let me know where is the double, which is the single A and which is the double A. Okay, is it Narasanas or Narasansas? I don't know how to pronounce it. Biographies of men started following him. अब बताओ यहाँ पुरानास क्या है? ले हिस्टोरियन. ममता बनर्जी पागल न की. Okay. Purana, stories of ancient times. Why did you guys send Mahua to parliament? We sent Mohua to parliament because she has straight hair and speaks English more fluently than Shashi Tharoor. Kunti, mother of Arjun, and Vasudev, father of Subhadra, were siblings. Both are children of Shudasen. Okay. Children, as far as I can tell, that many people are called, at least based on my reading of Brahma Puran, many people are randomly called children, even though that's probably a metaphor. So was there a metaphorical aspect to them being children of these people? Okay, Agarwal, why put effort on people who are over opinionated, less knowledgeable, and yet worship half knowledge as facts while acting as intellectuals and looking down upon texts that contradicts them? Yes. अथर्व वेदा इतिहासा अच्छा फिर से कमेंट किया ठीक है ले हिस्टोरियन ए ममता बनर्जी पागल ना की इज दैट स्टिल अप फॉर अ डिबेट एरम बोला ना मैं brother I refuted first chapter of Rudra and Shiva through ages as I promised 3 more to go yes Shashi Tharoor owns Mahua Moitra any day only thing she has an edge is in her shrill voice and theatrics yes Shashi Tharoor will not do theatrics I always say this I have not said this in my YouTube channel probably but Shashi Tharoor and Dr. Cornel West are the two people I have seen from the liberal left side anywhere in the world who will take your debate just for debate's sake. They will listen to your argument honestly, not based on what are your sources. They will of course if you say a dog flies etc. They will ask what are your sources, but in general they will be 100% respectful. They will not judge you for your background. They will take it seriously. They will not call you Nazi, fascist etc. They will return a counter argument 100% most of the times, which is why Dr. Shashi Tharoor ends up saying things that are in detriment to his political views also, because remember with his argument, basically conversation with Vikram Sampath in India Today conclave, at one point Shashi Tharoor ended up saying that, yes, we had to do nation building. For that, we had to do history in a particular way, which is his nice way of saying that, yes, we lied out of our teeth or said great things about fucking assholes just because we had to keep this country united. And that may be a wrong opinion, but that is a legit opinion. What they intended is very clear because of Shashi Tharoor's argument. Today's Congresses and liberals won't even admit that. They will say that no. Aurangzeb was definitely fucking great because he played nice veena. Arey baap re, veena bajata tha, kya baat hai. But Shashi Tharoor is saying, yes, we pulled some shenanigans because we had to keep the country united. You can now argue that no, that did not unite the country. Lies don't unite the country. But the fact that they wanted it really, and Shashi Tharoor saying that yes, we did that to achieve this, that is a pretty legit case to make. But he's at least admitting it because he's not a fucking nut job like Mahua Moitra. But the only other person I've seen like Dr. Shashi Tharoor is Dr. Cornel West. You should check out his conversation with Joe Rogan. Oh my god, what a respectful person. He's the first liberal person I've seen saying things like, brother, there are great, he identifies as a Christian socialist. Dr. Cornel West says that, brother, there are great aspects to any country. No country is completely evil, no country is completely bad. There are great things that even Israel does. There are bad things Israel does. There are great people in Palestine. There are bad people in Palestine. And he goes ahead and gives more examples. But these are dialectics. These are conversations. Okay, these are discussions. These are not debates. Debates में मोहा मोइत्रो ही चाहिए तुम्हारे साइड को, क्योंकि तुमको ऐसा चाहिए, ऐसा बंदा चाहिए जो कि मतलब लगेगा कि अच्छा डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया. तो मोहा मोइत्रो कभी जेसाई दीपक के सामने आई तब तो हमें सबको पता है कि कौन डिस्ट्रॉय होगा कहाँ से, मगर एटलीस्ट पार्लियामेंट में मोहा मोइत्रो इज एनफ टू एटलीस्ट गार्नर सम अटेंशन. मोहा मोइत्रो विल नेवर डिबेट अ रियल डिबेटर ऑफ कोर्स, but so in that case you can unfairly argue that yeah, if Moha Moitra needs to be countered, send Jai Sai Deepak to the parliament. Okay, let me check some more comments. Shashi Tharoor owns. Yeah. Did you see Rahul Gandhi's speech at the No Confidence movement in Parliament? It was pure fun. Yeah, and he's becoming kind of a better orator. His sentences were coherent. He seemed energetic. He seemed aggressive, and those things kind of rile up people in our politics, right? To be fair, anywhere in the world. So until now, he wasn't even doing that. He was relying only on humor. Now he's not doing that. That has some great benefits for that side. I respect Shashi Tharoor. He's a fine human being. I wish he was the national president of INC. Yes, Shashi Tharoor is a good practicing Hindu, great devotee of Padmanabha. Lord, I did not know that. I see. Of course, Aurangzeb was great. Yes, he played Veena. He and A.R. Rahman are on the same level. Brother, while I was reading Mahadev Chakravarti, most of his sources were secondary, and the only direct translation of Vedas he was quoting were from H.H. Wilson, while we have Sriram Sharma Acharya. Shashi Tharoor performed that Tulabhadram ritual in Guruvayur Appan temple. I see. Acha, Mahadev Chakravarti kaun hai? Okay, next is Abhay Agarwal. Honestly, if INC's leadership and structure changes, they can actually be a decent opposition, especially if they don't go overboard with appeasement. BJP is going overboard with appeasement, so Congress will obviously go overboard with appeasement. But that Tehseen Poonawala, what he's repeatedly saying, both times he has appeared on Smita Prakash's podcast and has said this openly, and I think on Times Now as well, that Congress has been hijacked by left loonies. So until the time that they are hijacked by left loonies, nothing is going to happen. Or if they do win and with left loonies, then we are truly properly screwed. Tulsiram Sharma and other. Okay. Brother, मुझे महादेव चक्रवर्ती पर FIR करनी false citation और blasphemy के लिए. कौन है महादेव चक्रवर्ती? Appeasement. We desperately need a good opposition like Naveen Patnaik. Ah, yes. Also need a live stream of you reading Quran. No, it's not allowed in Quran. I have 2 volumes, gigantic 2 volumes of a nice Quran. It's by Mufti Muhammad Taqi Usmani from the Deobandi sect. And I did not want to read critical Quran because it's pointless. I will read critical Quran and say that, see, these things are recommended. Some devout Muslim will say, no, these are not recommended. So I asked a Muslim friend of a close friend, who is a devout Muslim. I said that, what's the best possible Quran you can recommend to me? I will read that. I will learn your argument only. Let me read that. So I have Quran which I'm reading from time to time, which is a very nice Quran, so to speak. And but I am not allowed to read that on live stream because it's I don't think it's legal in the first place in Sharia law. So if it's not legal in Sharia law, I don't think it will be legal for me. But I am Hindu, maybe I can break Sharia law. I don't know. But most importantly, since we don't have decolonized self-defense laws, since a kafir is going to be preaching about Allah, my head will be chopped off. And then none of your atheist fuckers and communists and Marxists are not going to come to save me, okay? And even Narendra Modi is not going to come to save me because he's not going to let me own a gun legally without a gigantic hassle and suing the district magistrate, etc. Anyway. Mahadev Chakravarti, वो बंदा जिसने शिव और रुद्र अलग अलग है आर्यन द्रविडियन चलाया. Okay, so he started it, but he's probably long dead, right? Because I read a research paper from 60s and 70s also. That has been, I mean, forever the Indian Marxist line of arguments in academia, okay, that Rudra and Shiva are same. Their arguments is that Rudra was really the Vedic god, Shiva was just an adjective, and then they found someone in this Dravidian pre-Aryan lands who held a Trishul and went around wearing a tiger skin, etc. And then they amalgamated the two and created this syncretism in Mahabharata onwards. So was that started by Mahadev Chakravarti? How old is he then? He's probably dead, right? His sons will be Tansajuda, yes. Shahzad Poonawala's debates are fun to watch. He's destroying everyone. Yes. None is doing it unless they want to die. Yes. If you want to live stream, watch ex-Muslim live stream, they do read Quran out there. Don't waste your time reading that 6th century BS. Mine is probably not 6th century BS. It's what's your opinion on Parabrahman, Parashakti? No opinion yet. I'm just finding these things out. But the fun thing, interesting thing that I read in Sri Vigyan Bhairav Tantra is that Bhairava is pretty harshly critical of Sakara worships and idol worshipping. Therefore, any physical conception jo bhi karte hai, not the people, the idea of doing that's been looked upon and pretty harshly criticized by Bhairava. Okay. Now, the person who has translated this version, this Sri Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, she's a sannyasin from Chandan Nagar in Bengal. Okay, she learned, she became a sannyasi under a guru in the Bihar Yoga Sampradaya, something like that. Okay, institution. Anyway, she is pretty apologetic about it. She keeps repeatedly saying that. You see, Bhairava is saying this, but you see, Sakara worship is like the first step, the lowest rung of the ladder, and you are supposed to use that because, see, after all, we are children, we are We are distracted, easily distracted. We need to focus on a particular symbol, a particular visual cue. We do need that. And then when you have enough practice, one day you will not need Sakara. Nirakara worship is the goal. That is the highest point. That is the ideal. But you really can't start off with that. And of course, I agree with that basically. Because even if you think you are beyond idol worship, the Neo-Vedantins or Brahmo Samaji or even the spiritual, not religious folk, what they say when they what they mean when they say that I'm against idol worship, I don't need something in front of me to worship God, I don't think they are really worshipping or having a conversation with a formless God, because they are visualizing something. They are visualizing a structure, somebody's face. They are definitely visualizing. Okay, I know it cannot happen without that. But what Nirakara worship really is that you don't even need to visualize a particular form, because it's supposed to be formless. Nirakara. तो तुम साकारा वर्शिप नहीं करके तुम निराकार एक्चुअली नहीं कर सकते, तुम सिर्फ झूठ बोल रहे हो. So that is the idea here. Now obviously people who are against idol worship agree with this, but the translator is making the caveat that no, this is the lowest rung. You have to go through all these ladders, all these rungs of ladders, and then you maybe even get rid of the ladder itself because you are so high up in the spiritual sector. But my question is there possibly some distortion in the Sri Vigyan Bhairav Tantra because of it being written in Kashmir? It's a part of Kashmiri Shaivism, and in the 800s to 900 ADs, when Islamic invasions had already begun, were there the harshness with which Bhairava speaks of Sakara worship? Is there something else behind the harshness, or is it just our way of saying that it's so low on the ladder that we have to look down upon it, but do pursue it someday? That do remember that you have to do at the end of the day, pursue going up the ladder and head towards Nirakara and formless worship. That is the goal. Remember that, and that is why Bhairava was being so harsh. That is a fun, interesting thing to ponder over. Okay. So that's Parashakti and Parabrahman opinion, I said. उस translator पर यजुर्वेद 40th chapter माराओ दोनों करने को बोला है. What are you doing here if you don't want to read Brahma Puran? Okay, she tagged White Raptor. No, Shravya. White Raptor was talking about. White Raptor was speaking to someone else who said read the Quran. So I said I am reading the Quran. He was responding to that. Okay. How does Singapore stay secular with such a significant M populace? I have wondered about it. I have some conclusions. One may be that the reasons with which a person will convert to a particular religion, that may be what sets apart different societies today, the different converted societies. Okay, see, because USA claims to be a Judeo-Christian nation, which I absolutely disagree with. The USA is actually made out of the blue one fine morning, out of their constitution, okay, and some Enlightenment era reading. But their constitution is what has made USA. It's not a Judeo-Christian nation. Baki बहुत सारा देश Judeo-Christian nation है. None of them have become as accepting, as successful, as truly secular as USA. But so what is setting apart USA? Because they are descendants of people who were poor people, not the aristocracy, who came from England and Ireland, and one day decided it came to their mind that we are not going to live like a colony, even though we have lived here for 200-300 years now as generations, and we are not going to send taxes back to England. So fuck these people. We are creating a new country today, guys. In the same way, the conversions that happened in Singapore and the Southeast Asian countries, I think may have happened differently. They may have accepted it more willingly, and maybe it was sold to them in a different way. It was not sold to them in the casteism way or just with threats. I think they actually thought that, okay, we know these so many gods. Allah is just another god. Let's just embrace him. I think they might have accepted it because of that. Because there's always that great example. I think it's about a Christian missionary who was living in Singapore who had come from the West, and he was talking about this happening to him in Singapore or probably when he was visiting India. Okay, I forgot that. But anyway, the story goes that he offers a Hindu a statue of Jesus Christ. And he says that, see, all your gods, they are not that great. My God, Jesus Christ, is really great. And here's a statue of him. And the Hindu person says that, wow, he looks so great. And he puts him in his puja place with all his other idols, Krishna, Shiva, etc. So, and then the missionary realizes, what the fuck? These guys don't have that exclusivist or the outgroup designating concept in their veins at all. They will simply accept anyone who claims to be a god. अरे इसको मैं कैसे समझाऊं कि अरे भाई तुमको जीसस क्राइस्ट को एक्सेप्ट तो करना ही है और उसके लिए तुमको बाकियों को रिजेक्ट करना है. नाउ दिस रिजेक्शन के लिए आई थिंक कास्टिज्म or casteism politics was a great help, but in India I don't think they pursued that in Southeast Asia. I'm speaking absolutely out of my ass here. I have no research on this. This is just based on what the minimum history, cursory reading of history that I have done of Southeast Asia and the things I can see today in front of my eyes regarding the differences between Muslims of India and Muslims of those places. And conversely, who are the descendants of Muslims today in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh? These are people who converted because of fear or because of jealousy or lobh. Okay, अच्छा ये मिलेगा मुस्लिम हो जाओ, ये मिलेगा क्रिश्चियन हो जाओ, अच्छा ये मार देंगे अरे बाप रे मुस्लिम हो जाओ. So descendants of them will obviously be different from descendants of people who converted to Islam simply because they thought Allah is just another great God. Okay, I wonder if they really think Allah is the sole God and everyone else are false gods. I don't think that is the case. Otherwise, they would not go around building statues after statues of all Hindu gods. So I think that is the case, and that is the case with Pakistan. Even mostly Pakistan and Bangladesh, they are not India today. In India's Muslims are still more successful, more qualified, and largely speaking better than Pakistani Muslims and Bangladeshi Muslims. And that is also, I think, that is because of the same reason, that they are descendants of people who are absolutely fucking pussies or fucking assholes. And India, Hindus, आज जो Hindus हैं उनके बारे में तो छोड़ ही दो. But even Muslims and Christians of India are a little better than Pakistan and Bangladesh Muslims for that reason. And Muslims of Southeast Asia are probably better than Muslims of India because of that reason. Okay, let's see some more comments. He is talking about कहाँ गया? Wait. I just came in and saw the comment. Wait, let me check all comments. Nirakara is not formless, rather it's a source from which every akar comes from. Okay, but the formless word has been used in Srivigyan Bhairav Tantra, okay? But we will discuss this next day also, because I will confirm it once and then I'll talk about this with more conviction. Polytheism is a Hindu religion. Opinion on today's reforms in IPC and CRPC? No opinion yet. In Sanskrit, to negate a is used, not na. Nir akara. Yes, a is used, not na. Yeah, of course. Actually, some parts of Agamas are not Vedic. Many Puranas like Devi Bhagavat repeats that. How do you define a god? God does not really have a translation in Sanskrit. Neti. Tulsipit, Adipati, Rambhadracharya described this very thing. Okay. In which AD? Because the consensus to hamara kuch hai nahi. All opinions are predicated on who said it when and in what part of the country. Because I'm specifically talking about what was being said in 800 AD in Kashmir. Nothing more and nothing less than that. In the genealogy, in multiple places it is mentioned, Kunti was later adopted by some other king, but she was born to Shurasen as much as I know. Correction, in Sanskrit, to negate a is used, not nir. Okay, you are saying in that sense. Okay, but okay, then I'll confirm once again from Srivigyan Bhairav Tantra. and see. As far as I remember, the translator did use the word formless. If you want basic, then omnipotent, omnipresent, omniform. If someone is formless, if something is formless, can they still not do or be the things that you just said? Okay, which is that leads to everything else. Do they have to have a form in order to do those things or give birth to those things? Okay, one who sees all the forms of existence existing within the supreme soul immanent in all forms of being, suffers from no doubt or illusion. Satchit Anandam, yes, Satchitananda. Don't confuse demis with actuals. Brahman is the ultimate form of reality which is formless, endless, has no beginning or end. It is source of everything that exists today. Yeah, that is the argument in Shibigyan Bhairav Tantra. Okay, Southeast Asians' philosophy regarding Islam is very distinct. Demigods hote hi hai. I don't know if their philosophy is distinct, but their actions are distinct, definitely. No. There's no demis or actuals. If you can perceive anyone and saying him God, then you are just looking at Nirgun Brahman through Swagun lenses. Yeah, fair enough. Depends on which sect of Hinduism you follow. Perceive anyone through senses. What do you follow? Sorry, folk, I misunderstood. So, what are your opinions on polygamy versus monogamy? I think monogamy is better because monogamy is better, first of all, because it's the best scenario for the kids. In terms of if you predicate your marriage, or how you rate your marriage, whether it's a good marriage or bad marriage, what's your lens of doing that? In my case, for me, marriage का metric है how great are the kids raised. So on that, monogamy is the best thing. One father and one mother in the house is absolutely best thing possible for the kids. Therefore, I'm in favor of monogamy. You are correct. In Punjab, the Christians use caste as a primary issue to convert. Yes, of course. Okay. One who sees all the forms of existence existing with the supreme soul and the supreme soul immanent in all forms of being, suffers from. Oh yeah, ho gaya. Are you Iskonite? Accept them. Nobody used the word demigod. Accept them. Nobody used the word demigod. Begun alu piyaj shopkichur chop banana hai Singapore view on religion. Yes. Bro, I am no Iskonite. I believe in polytheism and I try to understand parallels with paganism. Polytheism, pantheism, panentheism, monism, Panishkism, etc. are all parts of Hindu Dharma. Yeah. Is Sanatan Dharma a polytheistic religion? Don't some believe that there is one Brahman who has different forms? Yeah. The better term that I have come up with, I have seen someone use, is polyformism with a monist base. कि monism है, वहाँ पे एक single Brahman है, बाकी सब उनका manifestations है, but they are different gods, but manifested from one single, so it's a polyformism. Different forms of one single consciousness. I thought that is the sole consensus, but now I am seeing that I don't think Rajarshi Nandi agrees with this. So I'm inclined to think that not all Hindu sampradayas agree with this, and maybe tantrics don't agree with this, because he is specifically saying that these are different beings. Okay, Shiva is a being, he's saying. So probably it is not monist at the end of the day. The claim that it's a monist religion with polyformism may be just one source of argument, one school of thought in Hinduism. Rambhadracharya is that blind saint who appeared before the Supreme Court for the Ram Janmabhoomi case. I see. He's still alive, and Nirakara is a Vedic word, I believe. Rambhadracharya's view is actually incorrect, but Sanskrit there doesn't mean that there is Ramanand Swami himself had written to see Nigrahacharya video where showed Tulsi Peets. Okay, it's kind of complicated. Hinduism allows both polytheism as well as monotheism alongside agnosticism, so there's no problem. Yeah, and there is monism as well. Did Krishna actually marry 8 real women? Is there philosophy in that too? I think there is philosophy, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. There was monotheism. There was no monogamy back then. It was a matter of achievement. How many wives you have, obviously. That is why it's being said that Krishna married 16,000 women, which we just read. And I don't think if the person actually called Krishna, he actually married 16,000 women. I don't think that happened. This is obviously him being glorified like every other thing that's being exaggerated and glorified. Because what you can basically deduct from this as a scholar is that, okay, so it was looked upon as a great thing. That, yeah, see, he was so great that 16,000 women were ready to be his wife. So that is what you can see as an outsider observer, as a tourist of Hinduism. Okay. Brahman is the fabric of reality that spans across the universe. Yeah, here to learn is TMC agent. I think you are addressing the wrong person. I see. Rajarshi Nandi has brought in light many aspects that were forgotten. Yes. 16,108 wives, which represented 16,000 riches of Vedas and 108 Upanishads. Yeah, so see, there's a philosophy here. There is only one TMC agent here. Sanatan Dharma can be too confusing sometimes. Yes, therefore, it is not supposed to be a non-confusing set of do's and don'ts. It's a religion of libraries. You have to read as much as you can. And at the end of the day, it is an individualism-based religion. It is about you, how best can you lead your life. It's not about a community-based call for action, which is why I think the Hindu unity we are hoping for will never actually happen. At best, we will end up voting for one party unitedly. That's the best thing that will happen. तो हमारा सेफ्टी का क्या होगा? सेफ्टी के लिए लॉ एंड ऑर्डर चीफ मिनिस्टर चाहिए, लाइक योगी आदित्यनाथ. अब योगी आदित्यनाथ हर जगह में बार बार अनंत काल के लिए तो नहीं आ सकता है. So the better option is decolonizing self-defense laws and having guns in every home. Some stupid fucker commented on my video about criticizing J.S.I. Deepak, saying that J.S.I. Deepak is wrong about this, about freedom of speech, and we really need guns. Someone commented that you are openly talking about killing people. Arey bhosri ke, yes, I'm openly talking about killing people who are in front of my in my house waiting to kill me. Usko मैं मारूं नहीं तो क्या करूं? I don't think every god has to come from Brahman by Vibhuti logic. Even demons and every other creature comes from Brahman. If you truly believe in Jatamat Tatapat, then one should look what one thread of understanding which satisfies all the beliefs. Shri Krishna had saved 16,000 wives from Narakasura, but he was over glorified in Puranas. Yes. In that sense, Vedanta truly succeeds. Dharma ko samajhna kathin hai. Yes. No, even, okay, everyone is debating with everyone. Shit. He's Illuminati. Okay. Yes, we need to have guns for self-defense, and it's not going to be allowed by law. Unless you have a politician or someone from an army background in your family, I challenge you, you will never own a gun. The district magistrate will have to be sued after he rejects your gun without any even looking at your case directly. Only then you might just end up having a gun. And even at the end of the day, if you do get a license, here are the hilarious rules. You'll have to suspend your gun. You'll have to submit your gun in the police station when there's a section 144 and there's a riot about to happen. तो अरे चूतिया, राइट के लिए, राइट में मैं मर सकता हूँ, इसीलिए मैं बंदूक लेने का बात कर रहा हूँ. और लॉ है कि तुमको राइट के वक्त बंदूक पुलिस स्टेशन में सबमिट करना है, ठीक है. देन देयर इज द लॉ दैट you'll have to go regularly to the police station for gun training. They will rate you and mark you about whether you really can shoot a gun properly or not. And I don't think the police are the best people for that, because these police with these gigantic pot bellies with unfit bodies, these fuckers have joined the police force because of caste-based reservations, contacts in politics, contacts in the police, and then because they played some great sport when they were young. ये सब करके ये सब पुलिस में आए हैं, तो ये हमको क्या बंदूक चलाना सिखाएगा. फॉर दैट आई वुड प्रेफर टू गो टू सम वो स्पोर्ट्स के लिए जो शूट करते हैं राइफल वगैरह, वहाँ पे जाऊँगा, राइफल क्लब जाऊँगा सीखने के लिए. ये चूतिया पुलिस के पास क्या बंदूक सीखने जाऊँ. सो इवन इफ यू डू गेट अ लाइसेंस, यू आर गोइंग टू फेस दीज प्रॉब्लम्स. उसके बाद ये है कि तुम जो बंदूक है लीगली दैट यू कैन ओन ऑन ऑर्डिनेंस फैक्ट्री वेबसाइट, दे आर फ्रॉम वो 1960s 70s अमिताभ बच्चन का मूवी वाला ढिशक्या वाला गन्स. ओके. Okay. Let's see. K. Annamalai can be a better option than Yogi, unpopular opinion. That's tough to say. Let's see if he is as blind as blindly he pursues the law and enforces that criminals are going to get their life screwed. Let's see if K. Annamalai also does that. Then we will see. Interesting part of Yogi ji is he doesn't come from RSS but an actual Sampradaya. Yes. That Yogi Adityanath is decoloniality living, breathing, personified form of J.S. Deepak's book. Okay, I need to learn more about it then. Bring back the Akhanda culture to Bangla. Akhada culture to Bangla. Yes, and you don't need to bring back or any culture. You just have to sign up for a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a step higher than wrestling, because wrestling में क्या होता है, there were holds. wrestling में holds होता है, holds में तुम उसको रोक सकते हो, मगर ब्राजीलियन जिu-जित्सु में उसके सिर्फ एक स्टेप एक्स्ट्रा जा सकते हैं कि होल्ड में रख सकते हो, उसको रोक सकते हो कुछ करने से, मगर उसके बाद तुम उसका हाथ पैर तोड़ भी सकते हो. सो जस्ट गो टू एनी रैंडम MMA क्लास, एंड इफ यू रियली लर्न MMA यू विल हैव टू लर्न wrestling anyway, or you can simply tell them that can you just do a wrestling class for me? If you are that rich, you can ask for personal training, that just set about one part of the day for me to learn only wrestling, or just learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu which involves 90% wrestling only, or learn MMA where you'll have to end up learning pure wrestling as well as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai etc. सिर्फ और सिर्फ रेसलिंग करने के लिए तुम्हारा ओलंपिक रेसलिंग का तो जगह है ही, मगर वो रियल लाइफ में ज़्यादा काम नहीं आएगा, क्योंकि वो अल्टीमेटली तोड़ नहीं कुछ सकते तुम रेसलिंग में रूल्स वाइज. सो यू डोंट नीड एनी कल्चर, अखाड़ा कल्चर और एनीथिंग. जस्ट गो टू एनी MMA क्लास और ब्राजीलियन जिu-jitsu क्लास. वो करने को कोई नहीं रोक रहा है. Okay. Sanjeev Sanyal traces all the youth clubs in every para to these akhadas. Yes, that Anushilan Shomiti in Bengal. Okay, now it's a goddamn badminton training center. All these akhadas which have turned into badminton, you know that is the death of masculinity in Bengal. Rabindranath Thakur learnt wrestling. He has talked about his wrestling teacher Gobor Babu countless times. Then I was listening to a Bengali interview of Manna De from years back on Doordarshan. He says, when I studied in Scottish Church College, I was very much into boxing, and even today I can take care of myself and handle anyone who comes to attack me. He says that in his 50s and 60s, he is giving that interview, and he says that I'm absolutely proficient in boxing even today. I will handle anyone. I know boxing in and out. That was the culture of Bengalis up until a few years back. Okay. युद्ध के दिन हथियार त्याग दो, वाह क्या नियम है. यस, गणेश गीता, उद्धव गीता, राम गीता, शिव गीता सबको माने के कारण हमें मोनोथिस्टिक पॉलीफॉर्मिज्म पर ही आना होगा. माई ग्रेट ग्रैंडपा couldn't get a gun due to slow complex bureaucracy issues, and ultimately he got murdered by commie goons. Fuck. They all do their Durga Puja because they all come from a Shakta culture. कहाँ हो, सुन रहे हो कि नहीं? But secularism blurred their civilizational memory. Yes. Sir, you are wrong about guns. In Punjab, at least most people apply for license, get the gun and keep it. No one dies for these kinds of checks, goes for these kinds of checks at the police station, even in section 144. No one turns it at him. Because they are doing it illegally. As far as illegality is concerned, I am with you. You can even own a gun illegally. पंजाब में कितने लोगों के पास लीगली गन है? इलीगली ही रखना है या फिर इलीगली ही गन वापस नहीं करना है तो इलीगली सब कुछ ही करो. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट लीगली क्या करूं. इलीगली कितने लोग करने चाहेंगे? पंजाब में ज़्यादातर लोग इलीगली रख सकते हैं क्योंकि उनका सैलरीड जॉब्स नहीं है. ठीक है, वो तो अपना खेत चलाएंगे, और खेत भी इतना अच्छा से चल रहा है कि 1.5 साल रस्ते पे भी बैठे रहेंगे फार्म लॉज रोकने के लिए. तो उनके साथ कंपेयर करने से नहीं होगा. When you are saying that and you are openly saying that it can be easily done illegally, so why bother about the legality? So you are then only incentivizing people who are willing to break laws, and the further problematic incentive that comes out of this is that there is something called broken glass theory. Okay, when you see randomly broken window theory, it's called. Some windows are broken randomly in the neighborhood, you know that neighborhood is going to hell. Or some random gangs of guys start using abusive words on the bike and pass by your neighborhood. You know that place is gradually going to hell now. Because who does that? Who uses galis loudly on the road while going on a bike? Who randomly breaks a window? And who casually breaks the law to keep a gun in their head, in their houses, okay? Someone who is okay with breaking laws, that someone will also be breaking 50 other laws. So either that person is a criminal to begin with, or is going to become a criminal, or is going to have criminal leanings. Which is why there's this slogan in USA that when you outlaw guns, only outlaws will have the guns, because outlaws, criminals, have broken 50 laws. They will break the 51st law or the 52nd law to own the gun and keep it in their houses. What I'm talking about is doing this complete thing legally so that problematic incentives don't come stemming out of it. Mushti Yuddha is granddaddy of MMA. Yes, and Mushti Yuddha is specifically wrestling, so it's not granddaddy of MMA. But I don't think Mushti Yuddha is the only thing they did. Because in Brahma Purana last day when we discussed Krishna's wrestling match, right? There at the end of the day it was said that Krishna punched them also. तो punching wrestling में आज के दिन में नहीं होता है, but उसको pancration हम बोल सकते हैं, जिसमें कि punching भी होगा, कुश्ती भी होगा. So there is probably no ideal term, and even there's this god called Jujutsu in Mahabharata. And he's a god of war. I wonder how Jujutsu is connected with this, because Jujutsu is a Japanese art, but there was wrestling here. So I can do 2 + 2 = 4 and claim that Jujutsu was probably, as in some proto-concept, in proto-phase, was born in India itself. It went to Japan, then it went to Brazil, and then the Brazilians perfected it and created this martial art today called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay. Mushti Yuddha is granddaddy of MMA. And see, even Lord Shiva has this name that Bhaganetra Bhida, then Pushadanta Bhida. So he broke teeth of Pushan, he destroyed the eyes of Bhaga. So we have plenty of examples of people striking as well. So it's not just about Kushti. Self-defense is not just fighting. Wait. Arey, yes, scrolling mein, haan. One needs to understand why they are doing it, what they are doing. Self-defense is first and foremost about fighting, learning and being fit enough to fight. उसके बाद सब कुछ आ जाएगा. And if someone is going to the self-defense class in the first place, they already know why they are doing it. So it's not a very important factor. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is good only for 1-to-1. Otherwise, Muay Thai is best option. It's brutal. Just watch Muay Thai matches. Yeah. I like Muay Thai. उससे better तो और भी है, MMA भी है. There is no end to how better it is. But best, first and foremost option, greatest option in self-defense is running away. What can we do when we don't have the option to run away? Maybe you are a little handicapped. Maybe you are stuck in an alley. Maybe you are in your home. When there is no runaway in the picture, is not an option in the picture, then guns come into the forefront. I am saying go to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu only because guns are not allowed. And Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, yes, it works only on one person at a time. If you have to handle more than one person, then boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, anything is great. Any other striking art, any striking art is great and better than Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for handling more than one person. But best would be gun. If there is no gun, then learn all these martial arts. Warrior culture is dead in Bengal, yes. Bengal is looked down upon RSS shakhas, yes. Sanjeev Sanyal also states that communists infiltrated later into these akhadas and changed it into youth clubs and made it a fucking badminton training center. The decline of Kshatriyata in Hindus has cost us dearly, yes. Actually, Abhay, here we have to remember that Kshatriyata, the fighting spirit of Bengalis, has not actually gone away, because Bengalis are going around killing fucking each other because of their political affiliations all the while. They have just pointed the gun in the wrong direction, metaphorically. That's the only problem. राइट फाइटिंग कल्चर एक्चुअली नहीं गया है. कॉलेज में मारपीट कर रहे हैं, स्कूल में मारपीट कर रहे हैं, कॉलेज में एसएफआई टीएमसी को मार रहा है, टीएमसी एसएफआई को फोड़ रहा है यहाँ वहाँ पे. बड़े होके डीवाईएफआई तृणमूल यूथ कांग्रेस के साथ लड़ाई कर रहा है. उससे भी बड़े होके उम्र में फिर पंचायत इलेक्शन में सब अपने आप को मारते फिर रहे. तो फाइटिंग स्पिरिट गया नहीं. किसको मारना है वो चुतिया, वो पूरा घपला हो गया दिमाग में. You'll see hardcore CPM leaders doing puja for this very reason. Puja for what? For RSS? I don't know. Bhai, no one does it illegally. These are legally licensed guns. Check the number of legal guns in Punjab. We have ammo stores in posh areas. It's different from the rest of the country in that case. I'll tell you why that is possible in Punjab. Because a whole lot of Punjab do serve in the army. और आर्मी बैकग्राउंड में होने से गन लाइसेंस मिलना बहुत आसान हो जाता है. तो वो तुम्हारा मामा, काका, काका का मामा, मामा का काका, कोई भी हो, आर्मी में कोई अगर रिमोटली तुम्हारा कनेक्शन है, तुमको गन मिलेगा. और ऐसे तो पंजाब में हर गली में कोई ना कोई मिल जाएगा जिसका कोई ना कोई रिलेटिव है ही आर्मी में. एक तो है पंजाब में इतने सारे लोग आर्मी में जाते हैं और उनका फर्टिलिटी रेट भी बंगाल से ज़्यादा है. देयरफॉर लीगली ओनिंग गन्स इज एब्सोल्युटली वे ईजियर इन पंजाब देन बंगाल. बट in terms of giving back the gun during rioting, that if they are doing it, that they are doing it illegally. And then there are further criminality incentives that open up, okay, and which I don't want for the society. I want everyone to do these things legally, because if the law says that you have to give back the guns and they are not doing it, it means they are absolutely doing it illegally. Let's go and buy rocket launcher. Illegal सवाई के मारो. Yes, illegally करना है तो rocket launcher ही खरीद लेते हैं. Compartmentalization is the reason the world doesn't The world doesn't function in silos. Yes. Government of India is scrapping sedition law when the sedition law should be made more harsh. I think the argument in that case is that sedition law, what the sedition law is supposed to do, there are other laws that do exactly that anyway. That's why they are scrapping it. Bengal doesn't need Batman. It requires Red Hood. Do a deep dive on Punjab and gun culture. Really, you will be surprised how easy it is to buy a gun license. Yes, exactly. What I just said, because they have connections in the Indian army. In Chandipat, I read Chandi Devi and Shumbhani Shumbha were fighting, wrestling, slapping and punching each other. Yes. Dada, in Malla Yuddha, eye gouge was also allowed. Just look at Lord Krishna's fight with Kamsa. It was essentially an all-out Malla Yuddha. Yeah. So Malla Yuddha, what it allowed back then was basically pancreation and basically MMA. But what Malla Yuddha translates today in our grammar is wrestling. And in wrestling today, these things are not allowed. So it would be tough to use Malla Yuddha in the modern context, in a modern Bengali or Hindi or Sanskrit sentence. Okay? So Malla Yuddha sikho, and therefore you learn how to fight. That won't be the case today, because grammatically, when we say Malla Yuddha, it will mean wrestling as we know it today. And आज के wrestling में ये सब नहीं है. उस वक्त के मल्ल युद्ध में ये सब भी होता था. Why Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and not Kalaripayattu? Because Kalaripayattu today has been absolutely defanged, and it's become a beautiful dance form and nothing more than that. when you are on the road and someone actually starts to fight you, you can't have a stick and go around flying beautifully like an anime movie. If any martial art that you watch looks beautiful, you will have to know that it's a fake dance form. Karate, Kalaripayattu, Kung Fu, all these. Anything that looks beautiful and nice is a dance form. Because the colonizers could not have allowed people to actually learn how to fight. So they defanged it and turned it into a dance form. Karate is a dance form. The people there is no sparring in karate. You just stand on your own and do haya, 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 haya. And when they actually pretend to fight, the person who's getting beaten up is actually pretending to get beaten up. They're not actually fighting. So if you have not watched WWE, Kalaripayattu, Kung Fu ever, I mean, if you have only watched those things, and then you one day suddenly sit down to watch Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or MMA, you will get bored out of your fucking mind. And that is the reason, that is the tell, that is the symptom that MMA, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is actually a fight, is actually real life fighting. And those are just beautiful, nice things. WWE, Kung Fu, Karate, anything done by Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and Kalaripayattu, all these are nice, beautiful, flying around dance choreography. And it's great for fitness. Never mistake this thing never misunderstand me on this, okay? When I criticize Western bodybuilding, when I criticize Kalaripayattu for being a dance form, when I criticize Kung Fu, Karate, they are all of them require hard work to learn. And that hard work results in tremendous fitness and lung endurance and stamina. All I'm saying is that they are not going to be effective in a real life, because you have never once in your life actually seen someone use Kung Fu in a real life combat situation, and never will you see someone using beautiful Kalaripayattu dancing around and flying around in the sky in a real life fighting situation, okay? Because even Chinese people, the Chinese government, who have always pushed the Kung Fu Karate narrative, and see such a great thing has come out of their culture, even their army doesn't use Kung Fu and Karate while fighting people on the in hand-to-hand combat. They use a completely different martial art called Sanda, Sanda, and it's not beautiful to watch. That should tell you that even though don't believe in their own crap. Isn't this colonization of the first order? No, it's called knowledge of martial arts. Kalaripayattu is very different. It requires weaponry mostly. Its unarmed part is too basic. Yes, I read somewhere Rukmi was around during Kurukshetra war, but nobody allowed him in their own team for Rukmi's incompetence. Shit. The Kolkata Anushilan Samiti is a badminton club nowadays. Yes, not every shakha has converted to that. Pratyek Padar club probably was a akhada if very old. And another thing is that when I'm talking about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instead of Kalaripayattu, what the fuck has that got to do with colonization? Did Brazilians colonize us? Did Japanese colonize us? Did British people teach us Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? What's colonization got to do with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Don't shut down your brain just because it comes from a foreign land. Because in some way it might have gone from us only and is returning today. Don't shut your brain down ever. You'll die on the road. Kalladi has 3 stages. The first is hand to hand, second wooden weapon, and third metal weapons, and none of that is applicable in a real life, and it looks like a beautiful dance form. The mouth of truth is covered with a golden vessel. The Aditya man he is, That's me. Brahman is prevalent in the sky in the form of Om. You want to fight but want the course to be easy? Who said about easy? I'm saying that it's useless. It's ineffective. Bhai, you are wrong on Punjab and army connection. Like I said, people without any army or cop connection can get license very easily. Gun culture is almost a way of life here. Then there is some illegality to it. It does not happen legally else anywhere. There is something else going on. I know there is a gun culture, but I'm not sure if it's happening legally. And if it is happening legally, then there is someone finding a loophole, or they do have some connections. Without connection, it doesn't happen in India. No, in Kalari, first weaponry is taught hand to hand. Yeah, and that's not going to work on the street. Otherwise, some MMA martial artist would have already come up who's effective, whose background is in Kalari Payattu. Why only if any martial art is propagated by only TV actors and film stars, heroes, okay? Then you know it's a fake martial art. Other than Vidyut Jamwal, no one has talked about Kalari Payattu. Who's stopping our MMA fighters from learning Kalari Payattu? Let's see them learn Kalari Payattu and use it in MMA. Then I'll be convinced. What do you think about Balarama killing Rukmi over a fight regarding gambling that you read today? I don't think anything about it. Do you want me to think about it? Let's see. Obviously, you probably mean is it good or bad? Wasn't Rukmi cheating? So Balarama is known to be a short-tempered person. So I understand in that. I'm not because I'm not reading these things to be judgmental. I'm not all the time thinking whether this was good, this was bad, this was good, this was bad. That's not the approach I'm taking, and therefore you've kind of caught me off guard, and I've not really given it a thought whether it's actually good or bad, or whether I'm just learning and listening to it with a tourist approach, with a scholar approach. That okay, this is what it is. Let's see what went on. Traditional karate was defanged by USA. I don't think karate was any time fanged. Really, I beg to differ. Just visit a southern Parashurama Kshatriya Kallar. Shivaji's forces used Kallari. The Vishy swords of Maratha comes from Kallari. Yes, and you think that is being taught today? No. Okay. Kallari is brutal only when you are well armed with sword and shield. Other parts are too simple. I mean, many parts have been forgotten. I learned karate for some time and telling its basic health exercise, nothing more. Yes. It is true form only limited to rural Japan, Osaka mostly, still very rare. I get your point. Hello guys, Rusty. Hello. Okay, now a lot of questions have been discussed. Now we will get back to Brahma Puran. Whew. Let's see. Naraka's death. Vyasa said, "Oh sages." अरे भाई मैं बार बार भूल रहा हूँ. अच्छा, let me tell you guys now about the connection between G.D. Savarkar, a Bengali Nazi. Okay, I will have to show you some stuff from Google. So let me tell you how I stumbled upon it. There is a great movie called American History X. Okay, where the hero is the protagonist is played by Edward Norton, the first Hulk. Okay, now he's a great actor obviously, and there he plays the role of a white nationalist, a white supremacist, who is pissed off that all the jobs are being taken by non-white people, etc. And his father was also basically a right-winger, not exactly racist. His father used to complain about things like his father was a fireman, and he used to come home and tell him that, see, today a colleague of mine got killed because two black guys who are watching his back got hired just because of being black, and I don't want that in my career, and none of us wanted that in our country. America is all about the best man for the job. These things should not happen. So these things kind of inspired him, and when his father died on the job, and he had many encounters with black people in his neighborhood who were being abusive towards him. The movie is very shown in a very fair way, and that leads to finally Edward Norton himself becoming a white supremacist racist. And his mentor is this is a completely fictional story, okay, and his mentor is a scholarly person who has read a lot and then decided that Nazism is great. So he's a neo-Nazi person. Now the look that man has is actually inspired from a real life neo-Nazi. Okay, wait, अरे मैं नाम ही भूल गया उसका. Anyway, it's a very weird Germanic type of name, But he's not the point of our discussion here. So he's a neo-Nazi who died in 2017. Okay. Then he lived in Canada for about 40 to 50 years. And in Canada, so I started looking into him because I saw a clip of him on Instagram where he's saying things about the usual things about Jews, that why are these people always in positions of power. See, anytime when someone is a language or religion supremacist and saying things like, why is this guy getting the job, etc., you know that they have Marxist notions of economics. So anyway, he's saying things that are not really based in economic fact. So anyway, he looks exactly like that person who was portrayed to be the mentor of Edward Norton in American History X. So then I realized, okay, so this is the guy who was kind of being hinted at when they were making the movie American History X. So I read up a little more about him on Wikipedia. And then I found he lived in Canada for 40 years and was part of the Liberal Party of Canada. So I thought, which is the Liberal Party of Canada? Trudeau's. Why would they have a white supremacist in their fold? Then I thought maybe they changed their views in some way because Democrats were also racist. Ku Klux Klan was made by Democrats. Democrats were against slavery. Were against abolishing slavery. So I thought maybe something of that sort has happened. Then I realized that no, Liberal Party is actually Trudeau's party, and this guy was in the Liberal Party for a pretty sinister reason. Germans back in those days were being looked down upon for being descendants of Nazis or were being suspected of being Nazi. So they were having really problems as immigrants in Canada, and he wanted the Liberal Party to have a pro-immigration voice, which Liberal Party does even today. And he used the pro-immigration and immigration-friendly ethos of the Liberal Party to basically defend Germans and even actual neo-Nazis settling in Canada. So that was a pretty interesting part. Then I found out he has written a book on some Nazi sympathizing idea. The foreword of his book has been written by someone called Savitri Mukherjee. And that absolutely blew my mind. What the fuck? Who is this Bengali Hindu woman with a Brahmin surname is writing a foreword for a neo-Nazi in Canada? What is going on? Now let me show you things from Google. So who is Savitri Mukherjee? Yeah, so this is Savitri Mukherjee, okay. Her real name was Maximiani Julia Portas. She was ideologically a fascist and a Nazism sympathizer. She has a PhD, MS and MPhil from University of Lyon. Okay, so check out some things about her. French-born Greek fascist, Nazi sympathizer and spy who served at the Axis powers by committing acts of espionage against the Allied forces in India. So she was against the British forces in India, okay. She was later a leading member of the neo-Nazi undergrounds during the 1960s when she was writing the foreword for the neo-Nazi in Canada. Savitri was a proponent of a synthesis of Hinduism and Nazism, proclaiming Adolf Hitler to have been an avatar of the Hindu god Vishnu. She depicted Hitler as a sacrifice for humanity that would lead to the end of the world, of the worst world age, the Kali Yuga, which she believed was induced by the Jews, whom she saw as the powers of evil. Her writings have influenced neo-Nazism, Nazi occultism, rejecting Judaism and Christianity. She believed in a form of pantheistic monism, a single cosmos of nature composed of divine energy matter. Within neo-Nazism, she promoted occultism, ecology. उनका इकोलॉजी का व्यूज भी देखेंगे, वो काफ़ी बैलेंस्ड है. And the New Age movement and more contemporaneously, she has influenced the alt-right in today's context. Okay. Now check out who her husband was. How did she become a Hindu Bengali Brahmin person? Her husband was someone called Ashit Krishna Mukherjee. He was a Bengali who died in 1977, born in 1898. He was a Bengali from Narayanganj, East Bengal, with Nazi convictions who published pro-Axis powers journals. He married Savitri Devi in order to protect her from deportation or internment. तो इनका भी ज़रा थोबड़ा देख लेते हैं. This is pretty insane. So this person is Ashit Krishna Mukherjee. Okay, check out this guy. Nice, fat, cute, Brahmin bald guy. This is our Nazi brother. Okay, Nazi homie. Now, this person attended University of London, taking a doctorate in history. After graduating, he traveled in the Soviet Union. So now this is where people are expected to have become Marxists. Anyone who was remotely against British colonialism were expected to be Marxists, Leninists, or they would be devout Hindus like Sri Aurobindo. But that was not until the 1930s and 40s. But okay, this person on the other hand brings up a different counter to colonialism, which is that अच्छा Marxism है, devout Hinduness है, और Nazism है as a counter. All these three things are the counters to colonialism. I will choose Nazism out of all these three. So Gangadhar Adhikari and all are the people who are the Leninists who are resisting British forces. Sri Aurobindo's line is pursuing anti-colonialism through the Hindu lens, and this guy is pursuing anti-colonialism through the Nazi lens. So that's a pretty fascinating thing to learn about. Okay, now, so he is unimpressed with Marxist materialism. He turned down several offers to work for communist newspapers back in India because उनको लगा communist को इंडिया में लगा कि अच्छा हमारा एक बंगाली भाई वहाँ पे यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ लंदन में पढ़ा है, सोवियत यूनियन गया भी है घूमने, अब तो बंदा पूरा मार्क्सिस्ट बन चुका है, अब उनको बोलो थोड़ा लिखने के लिए कि कितना कास्टिज्म है और कॉलोनियलिज्म क्यों हटाना है इंडिया से. तो देन ही रिजेक्ट्स देयर आइडियाज. एंड coincidentally only yesterday I learned that even Hitler was against Christianity as well. He was more pro-paganism and even some forms of Buddhism. But he absolutely hated Christianity and Judaism. So anyway, let's see what else Ashit Krishna did. Okay, see this. He began instead to publish the New Mercury in collaboration with Sri Vinay Datta, another Bengali Nazi, openly proclaiming its support for Nazi Germany and Aryan racism. So these are the devout or proud Hindus who believe in the Aryan invasion theory to the extent that they are now supporting Hitler. It expressed admiration for the race laws and Hellenic ideals. In January 1938, Ashit Krishna met Savitri Devi, who was deeply impressed with his knowledge of Nazism. They married on June 9, 1940. What the fuck? Okay, now check out this line. Ashit Krishna used his connections with Subhash Chandra Bose and the Japanese authorities to put them in contact, thus facilitating the formation of the Indian National Army. This Bengali Nazi guy was the one who mitigated the coming together of the Japanese army and Subhash Chandra Bose. Holy fuck. After the war, he made his living as a fortune-telling astrologer and had Savitri's books published. That's not all. There is one insane other fact left. Now, Savitri Mukherjee has written a great book about India. Okay. About how people who hate India should be kicked out of India. You should listen to an excerpt from that. Okay, I found it out on Google. Check this out. I wonder if I'll find it again now. I should have saved those links. Where did I find it? Wait, I think I saved it in my phone. Wait. Let me check. Because the preface of her book was written by G.D. Savarkar. Yeah, I found it. Why is it here in my phone and I didn't find it in Google? Okay, listen to what she wrote. Okay. The book is called A Warning to the Hindus. I wonder if this book is available these days. So it's written by Savitri Devi, a Nazi. And this is the picture. Okay. Let me know if you all can find it here. So, A Warning to the Hindus, foreword by G.D. Savarkar. So she writes, I repeat, we do not hate our Indian brothers, Mohammedans, Christians, or whatever they may be. We have no grudge against them. The only thing we hate is anti-national religious fanaticism, from wherever it may come. We know that we have shared in the past the same eternal Indian culture with those who have since then become the Indian Mohammedans and Christians, and in the same spirit and with the same earnestness as we preach India above all sects to the Hindus. We urge those Indians who believe in so-called world religions to put India above them. We call them back to our common national culture and civilization for the sake of the nation. If they love the nation, let them come join us. They are welcome. But whoever does not care for India and her culture, whether he be born a Mohammedan or a Christian or even a Hindu, should have no place in the country, but at most as a temporarily sojourning foreigner. Whoever loves any community more than India should go out of India. Savitri Devi, a warning to the Hindus, Calcutta, May 1939. Okay, and the foreword for this book is by G.D. Savarkar. This is crazy. And then Subhash Chandra Bose maybe called a Nazi because of this, but maybe he had met with Hitler because of Ashit Krishna, what was his surname? Ashit Krishna Mukherjee in the first place. But he did reject Savarkar and Hindutva completely. So one can say that no, he was not really fascist in that sense. Yeah. Now let me check some comments. Balarama is often considered an avatar by many, and Ram and Krishna are not so quick to get into killing mode. Was killing so much prevalent in those days? How does Dharma survive then? Yeah, I think there was always the duality which I've seen in Hindu society to a large extent, right? There was that interesting dialogue in Delhi 6 that's of course a critique of casteism. They are going to watch the Ram Leela. And someone says to one guy that, see, even Lord Hanuman is drinking from anyone and everyone. Why are you practicing casteism? And he says, वो तो God है, God को सब allowed है, हम तो normal आदमी है. So maybe Brahma Puran, the people who preached Brahma Puran also, or the people who were listening to it, also understood it in the same way that, acha, they were gods, they had the authority to do that. Maybe it's not up to me. Because even owning arms was not willy-nilly in ancient India all the while even, right? Because you are supposed to have arms only to protect your community because you are official as Kshatriya, and in order to protect your Kshatriya dharma, because you have a duty, therefore you will get the right. Rights don't come without duty. अब तो हमारा सोसाइटी ही है, फ्रैटर्निटी नहीं है, लिबर्टी नहीं है, इक्वालिटी नहीं है, ड्यूटीज नहीं है, सिर्फ बेंचो राइट है. तो उस राइट का जो ये भोसरी का समुद्र है, an ocean of rights, उसमें हमको भी अभी राइट ही चाहिए. गन्स का क्या करें? There is no illegality in Punjab regarding guns. The magistrates allow it. It is the mentality is why people that move here from other states. Wait, मेरा scroll ज़रा pause हो गया. Here from other states get surprised at fist fights over simple issues like gali. I mean, most people from other states are not as aggressive, which is why I guess Punjab is the way it is, and not in a good way. We have aggression and physicality, but not too high intelligence. Okay, that's a good point you have made. So if district magistrates are also allowing it, then he is basically admitting or acknowledging the fact that the society itself at large really wants it. Then it's fair. Then they are doing it legally, and then Punjab is an exception here. That's not the case elsewhere. Bengalis are having a tough night today. First Bengali Dravidianism and then Bengali Nazi. Did Hitler worship Thor and Odin then? Probably. Enough internet today. History में search करो. Yeah. क्या सुनने को मिल रहा था आज? माथा घूम गया मेरा. I support her. Okay, let me just tell you guys the link where this excerpt is written. Okay, because I could not find it in Google today, right? LinkedIn में है. LinkedIn में किसने post किया है ये? Mukul Gupta. Wait, the exact URL is, let's see if I can share it. Okay, I'll share it from my YouTube community post only. Okay. She's talking like Savarkar, yes. I know V.D. Savarkar, is G.D. Savarkar his brother? Yes, Ganesh Savarkar, yeah, who got beaten to death for being part of the Chitpavin Brahmin community, जहाँ से God से आया था. तो कांग्रेस वालों ने जाकर चितपावन ब्राह्मण्स का तो पूरा जेनोसाइड कर दिया और जी.डी. सावरकर को रास्ते में फेंक के मारते रहे. फिर वो उनको हॉस्पिटल ले जाना पड़ा जहाँ उनका डेथ हो गया. और विनायक सावरकर को लास्ट मोमेंट में पुलिस रेस्क्यू करके ले गई थी. ओके, नाउ लेट्स गेट बैक टू ब्रह्म पुराण. दिस वाज क्रेजी. I have one other thing to show you. She has some great views on ecology as well. Let's see if I can find it. Wait. In terms of ecology, she sounds like a vegan. So तब तो quitting dairy was not a very easy option to have. So she was very staunchly vegetarian as well. I can't find that here, but her exact view I remember because that has been the vegan argument as well, that vegetarianism is the way to go because humans should not consider themselves superior over each other. So we are not, no animals here are for us. We are here with, they are here with us, and we are here with them. No one is above anyone, and therefore, in a modern civilized society, no one should kill and eat animals unnecessarily, because vegetarian food is enough for you. That was her ecologist views. Ecologism, अगर हम एक ideology पकड़ ले, तो in terms of that was her views with vegetarianism, and then she was very pro India as well. What is going on? And she's a Nazi. By the way, I was reading Guru Granth Sahib one day and realized its darshan very similar to Shankaracharya and Ramanujacharya, and even says my lord is Narayan Ram Devi. ये अलग religion क्यों है? ये अलग religion तो हाल ही में हुआ ना. वो देखो, वो राम जन्मभूमि का जो जजमेंट है ना 3000-4000 पेज का, उनमें से एक की टेक अवे क्या है कि हमको ये प्रूफ मिलता है कि गुरु नानक खुद 2 बार एटलीस्ट राम मंदिर में आए थे, जो कि बाबर के तोड़ने से पहले वहाँ था. वही प्रूफ, among many other things, that was also used as a proof to argue that yes, there was a Ram temple beneath the Babri Masjid. So they were the sort of a different, entirely Kshatriya Sampradaya inside Hinduism, who were just facing pattharbazes all day, and they decided हमको अभी चाहिए तलवार चाहिए, नहीं तो इनको हम रोक नहीं पाएंगे. Later it got co-opted into an anti-Hindu movement. And even today, a lot of Sikhs are not anti-Hindu in the end. There is another example that I forgot everyone who is involved, everyone's names, but there is a sect of Sikhism which is not really these days accepted by mainstream Sikhs. There is a branch of Sikhism in Uttar Pradesh who don't even own arms, etc., who are devout Ram Bhakts, as far as I can remember. Okay, I'll tell you the word. The word is a very common Bengali word as well. Sorry, I can't remember it. But I'm saying that because there is an ashram in Uttar Pradesh where a Bengali historian found some script, some texts written on the floor, on the steps of that ashram. Now, the rest of the ashram was built later on, but those steps might be the steps or some other structure of some ancient, far more ancient structure, because those texts are ancient Pali or Brahmi, Pali, which are about thousands of years old. Okay, 1500, 2000 year old texts are written there. Now that has become an ashram, and that place used to be frequented by a sect of Sikhism who were absolutely against violence. So there were Sikhs like that. क्या नाम था उनका? Let's see if I can Google and find it. Here in Punjab, there are Shiva and Shakti mandirs where Sikhs come regularly for puja. The Naga Mandir in Amritsar is where you will see a lot of Sikhs for puja of Nagadev. I see. Ramdasiyas. Probably, I'll just Google it. Even Swami Vivekananda's biography, Swamiji promoted vegetarianism for spirituality. Yes. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Let's see how. Who was someone mentioned it about that in. Okay. I know how to find it. Okay, I'll find it. Okay. वाद पॉडकास्ट में जो एक वो यंग हिस्टोरियन बंदा आता है ना, एक लड़का, उसने मेंशन किया था. ओके, लेट मी जस्ट फाइंड इट. आई गूगल दैट एंड फाउंड ऑल द डिटेल्स. लेट मी चेक वाद्स पॉडकास्ट हियर. Udasi, yes, Udasin Sikhs. In Bengali we call them Udashi. People who are Udasin, they are not sannyasin, they are Udasin. They are basically reluctant about this life, the samsara, the worldly affairs, material of offering things. They are the Udasin Sikhs. Yes, उनका एक आश्रम है, वो दिखाता है तुमको. आश्रम का नाम क्या है? वो उदासीन आश्रम अखाड़ा सांगलवाला. देखते हैं वो मिलता है कि नहीं. Now it's not a part of Sikhism really, that ashram. Now it's become totally Hindu. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, found it. This is the place. See where Dalai Lama is visiting. This is the ashram. Now यहाँ पे नाम तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. देखते हैं जगह का नाम क्या है. उदासीन कर्षणी आश्रम in Mathura, UP. Yeah, this is the one. यहाँ पे एंशियंट कुछ टेक्स्ट मिले थे. नहीं, वाद का पॉडकास्ट ढूंढ लेते हैं, वहाँ से मिल जाएगा. रुको. It's pretty fascinating. That historian has given many interviews on Mauryan history. Yeah, this guy. यहाँ पे they will discuss that.
Utkarsh, I work
को महाराज डिक्लेयर नहीं करते. उसमें इंटरेस्टिंगली वो जो बाण है वो पुष्यमित्र को कहते हैं सेनानी नार्यो. ये जो टर्म इस्तेमाल करी गई है अनार्य सेनानी. युग पुराण में क्लियरली लिख रखा है कि जो सकल का राज. तो पुष्यमित्र शुंग के बारे में हमको ये बताया गया है कि ये एक मौर्यन जनरल थे और इन्होंने जो लास्ट मौर्यन एम्परर थे बृहद्रथ उनका असैसिनेशन करा था. और ये डिटेल जो है पुष्यमित्र शुंग के बारे में हमको पुराणों में मिलती है. 4 पुराण हैं, वायु, ब्रह्मांड, भविष्य और मत्स्य. इनमें ये डिटेल बताई गई हैं. फिर उसके बाद जो अच्छा पुराणों का जो पीरियड है कंटेम्प्रेरी पीरियड नहीं है. ये पुराण लगभग आपके मान लीजिए गुप्त पीरियड के आसपास कंपाइल होने शुरू हुए थे, तो कंटेम्प्रेरी ये भी नहीं है. फिर इसकी मालविका अग्निमित्र कालिदास जी ने जो लिखी थी उसमें भी पुष्यमित्र शुंग का जिक्र आता है. और फिर उसके बाद एक टेक्स्ट है बाण ने लिखा था हर्षचरित. ये लिखा है 800 साल.
Found it.
वो तो मैंने देख रखी है और
This
एक
is the
फोटो भी
one.
लगा देंगे हम. तो वो इंस्क्रिप्शन में इंटरेस्टिंगली क्या है कि वो 2 लाइन की इंस्क्रिप्शन.
Yeah, this is the one. Okay, let me see which ashram is this. If someone lives in UP, go visit this place.
मतलब पुष्यमित्र शुंग कभी भी अपने आप को महाराज डिक्लेयर नहीं करते. और चाहे आप क्या कहते हैं जितने भी ये पुराणों में देखिए, पुराणों में भी जो टाइटल उनके लिए इस्तेमाल किया गया है वो हमेशा सेनापति या सेनानी का इस्तेमाल करा गया है.
लेकिन वो तो सारे सोर्सेज बाद के हैं ना.
लेकिन एक इंस्क्रिप्शन भी है.
अच्छा.
एक इंस्क्रिप्शन है जो कि अयोध्या में है. अयोध्या के उदासीन आश्रम है, वहाँ पे मैं इंस्क्रिप्शन मतलब मैंने देख रखी है और ये फोटो भी लगा देंगे हम. तो वो इंस्क्रिप्शन में इंटरेस्टिंगली क्या है कि वो 2 लाइन की इंस्क्रिप्शन है. 2 लाइन की भी नहीं है पूरी, 2 लाइन की इंस्क्रिप्शन है. उसमें एक राजा है जो जिसका नाम है धन. धन ने एक फल्गु देव एक देवता हैं, उनके लिए कोई एक सेंचुरी बनाई है. तो एक इंस्क्रिप्शन लिखी है उसमें कि मैं राजा हूँ धन, और वो अपने आप को कहते हैं मैं कोसल का राजा हूँ. कोसल के राजा हैं वो. और वो ये बोलते हैं कि एक टर्म इस्तेमाल करते हैं संस्कृत में, पुष्यमित्रस्य षष्ठेन, 6th ऑफ द पुष्यमित्रास.
अच्छा.
उसमें तो उसमें सेनापति टाइटल भी इस्तेमाल करते हैं पुष्यमित्र के लिए.
6th जनरेशन आ चुकी है यहाँ पे.
नहीं, अब इसमें डिबेट ये है ना कि जिस हिसाब से इन्होंने.
Okay, guys. So that was it. That's the ancient 2000-year inscription found in an ashram in UP. So this was fun. We had a nice live stream today. Thanks for joining, guys. I'm most probably coming tomorrow as well. But tomorrow, if I do come, I'll discuss the Bengali history live stream again. Okay. Thanks for joining, guys.